What's shaking, people? It's your girl Spring. Sit back and relax, you are now rocking with the best. Have you checked out AIM controllers? The absolute best controller in the game, from customization to branding and more. With a lifetime warranty, why not invest in something that's worth it? The best controller for the best deals. Make sure to use code DOOM at checkout. Links in the description. That's code DOOM for awesome discounts. This is your DSG brand ambassador, and you know the motto, let the good times roll. What's poppin', people? It's your girl Spring. Sit back and relax, you are now rocking with the best. Welcome to Excelsior Now podcast, where we take your favorite guest and get to know the person behind the keyboard. So grab your popcorn, get those fiery trash emojis ready, and enjoy the show. This is your Doom Squad brand ambassador Spring, and you know the motto, let the good times roll.
Excelsior Now podcast.
What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doom Killer HD, and welcome to the final episode of Excelsior Now presents the Avengers RoundTable of 2022. First and foremost, I would like to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in right now, because you know it's about to go down with this crazy cast and future cast that's going to show up as well. But first, let me go ahead and introduce the team queen, the lady who's going to be co-hosting tonight. What's good with it, Miss Alien Fire?
Hello.
Yes, indeed.
How's everybody doing?
I hope
so
they're
nice
doing
to be
good.
back.
I hope they're doing good, because it's going down tonight.
Oh yeah, baby. Counting on it.
So we got the homie Mr. Slight Starters, who's been doing an awesome job of co-hosting the weekly wrap up with me lately. He just came off of a crazy fight with a little bit of drama involved, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that too. But welcome to the show, Mr. Slight Stardust.
I had no clue this was going to be spoken about, guys. I've been
What did you think? What do you expect? I mean,
no, I'm only playing. Oh wait, actually, people were panicking because you know how you put it's the final one. I saw on YouTube, people were in the replies like, "What do you mean final?" And bro, I fell for the bait. I was like, "What's he mean final?"
The messed up thing was it wasn't even bait; it was accidental. I just forgot to put in of the year. Literally, it was supposed to say final of the year, but yeah, people started freaking out.
I hope it works. I hope people tune in now thinking it's going to be the last ever one, and then in the end, you're like, "See you next year."
Next up, we've got a good friend of mine as far as gaming is concerned. Big supporter, just all around rocking dude. If y'all know who I am talking about Mr. Johnny Rocker. What's good with it, sir?
What's going on, fam? Hope everybody having a good one. Ready for this one.
Bro. This one's crazy. This one's gonna be crazy. Fate Walker is in the building, y'all. Like the man himself, the Kate Bishop destruction bringer himself is in the building. What's good with it, Fate Walker?
It's going well. I'm sure Doom meant to put in of this year for that clickbait.
That was crazy. It was nuts. It really was. It was an accident, but it worked.
Thank you for having me.
With it.
Appreciate it.
One of my teammates, who we were the second team to finish the raid ever in the world. My dude, big time classy individual. My boy Captain Tay likes to call him snitchy snitch, but we got my dude Mr. Tricks Ridiculous in the building. What's good with it, Tricks?
What's good? Haven't been on one of these in a while, so I'm excited to be here.
It's been a good minute, man. And last but not least, I mean, when I say not least, we definitely mean that we got the man of the hour, in small circles around DSG, we like to call him the Matrix Miller himself. What's good with it, Mr. Miller with like 9,000 M's in your name, good sir?
Hey, what's up? How are you?
I am
Hey.
tired, bro, but I am good. Y'all are making my night, so let's get it popping, people. Oh no, we got Sadat in the chat. We got Eastwood in the chat, Babe Bros in the chat, Captain Taze in the chat, 69 Spring Roses in the chat. Ambassador is here, Hoarder Gamer is here. Johnny Rocka, why are you in the chat and on the screen? Man, you're crazy, Johnny. You just everywhere, dude. You everywhere. Nava Flo is in the building. Fate Walker is in both places. Karen O'Brien, Robert Huff. We got a room full of people in here, and I think tonight is gonna be a really, really fun and exciting night. Miller, how you feeling, bro? You good?
I'm good. It's been a very busy weekend. I've had plans like every day, but it's good to be here with all of you. It's good to see you. How is everybody?
Hopefully they're good.
Fantastic.
Johnny, how you feeling tonight, sir?
Feeling good, man. Ready to be here.
Faye Walker, how you feeling, bro?
Super fantastic. Loving all the games that I'm currently involved in. So
Okay.
great times.
Trixie Nicholas, tell me you got some red wine and you feeling good.
I actually have a beer this time.
Oh, that's different
Wow.
for you.
Yes, it is. No, I'm feeling good. I'm a little tired because I'm coming here after like a 12-hour session of Midnight Suns, so I'm a little tunnel vision. But you know how it goes.
I definitely do. Slight Stardust, how you feeling, Mr. XOXOXO?
So I don't have any alcohol this time around. I've had like I haven't had
Me
a
and Duke made
piece
the
of
same
I
face
haven't
when
had any alcohol in like 9 weeks. It's tragic, but I was also coming off a very long Midnight Sun session, so I feel like that, you know.
Man, Midnight Suns might be the next damn roundtable. Golly, okay. Alien Fire, Miss Co-host, how are you feeling tonight? Oh, you're so muted. I love a DSD production.
Hey,
I love it.
I'm back. Doing great.
Good
Had a
to
rough day
hear.
at work, but I'm very happy to be with you guys tonight. It's great.
Right.
Great to be back.
Hopefully you got some questions for this beautiful panel and the panel that will still likely show up before the end of this show. But let's just go ahead and get on into it. From 2000 to 2020, I should say, because 2000 would be a long time. But from 2020 to 2022, we have been blessed, some would say cursed, to be involved in one of the most controversial games ever put out, which is Marvel's Avengers. Expectations versus reality. From launch to War for Wakanda to now. Alien Fire, how do you view your experience from 2020 till 2022 right now? From launched to what's going on in the game right now with the release of Bucky Barnes?
My God.
Yes.
That's a
Why do I
loaded
get-
question.
That
Why
is
do
a
I get
very
put on the
loaded question.
spot?
Because you're the co-host and you got to give everybody the show of how it's supposed to be answered. So go ahead and do your thing.
I guess it started out with like kind of big expectations, but as time went on, it just like went down and down and down to the point where now I'm not expecting anything whatsoever. Yeah, it's I'm at that point now where I'm thinking, well, what we get is what we get, and that's it. You know?
Dang. That's a way to put it. What we get is what we get, and that's it.
Well, I mean,
like that.
I have to say though that I was pleasantly surprised with Bucky, but that's for another discussion, I guess. But yeah, cloning labs. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's it. I'll let other people speak now.
Okay. Slight Stardust, how you feeling on that question, bro? Give me some answers, man.
Marvel's Avengers was definitely my villain origin story. So I should probably explain. So
Oh yeah.
I think that so when the game first come out, right, it was that sort of typical. Okay, so I like to look at the timeline as Max Dillon from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, right? So when the game first come out, he was like, "Oh my god!" Obviously, it's not Spider-Man in this case; it's the Avengers. But oh my god, the Avengers! I'm obsessed. I love you guys. And then as sort of slowly started showing, that this game
The true colors.
is the true colors that it just ain't happening really is when I fell into the vat of eels, so to speak, and that's kind of where like I started sort of slowly losing it, but it was still there, like the sort of wanting the game to get better progressively. But then I'll be honest, the biggest thing that completely killed my interest was when they killed Operations. Right, that was when my thing started going down. Because for me, Operations, that marketing campaign of like new hero, this, that, and the other, was genuinely sort of a thing of like, this could be it. This could be the turning point. Because Operations always felt like big deals to me. Now every content drop feels nothing. Like I feel nothing for these content drops. I tell you now, like, so the fact that I don't even have hope for the content drops. Like I'm so done. Like, and then obviously, with this new Marvel game coming out, you might have heard of it, called Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh, it just dropped this weekend.
Yeah, and being the Marvel experience I've pretty much always wanted in a title. I mean, I'm done. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm done. Like, it's game over. It's over. So yeah, so that's my villain origin story.
Okay. Trick's ridiculous. Now, this is gonna be a very interesting answer, I'm supposing, because like you are one of the ones who are strong enough to just put the damn game down and walk away sometimes. You know what I mean? When you need to. Unlike some of the people like myself on the panel who continuously played, though I was hating myself for doing so. You are one of the smart ones on the panel who said, yeah, today is not the day. Let me go ahead and put this down and go do something different.
Unlike me, Trix is immune to addiction, so I really admire him for that.
No, well, you'd think that, but now with the power level and bit and not being able to get to 175 some other way, we don't even know what the next thing is going to be, if there is a next thing. Does everyone have to be 185? I don't know. If I put the game down, am I going to come back and not be able to play? I don't know. But no, listen, it is what it is. You got no shot getting a toxic take out of me anymore on this game. I'm all done with the toxicity. It is what it is. What we got with Bucky and Cloning Labs is about 6 months worth of work. And if that's good enough for you, I hope you enjoy the game while you can. And it is what it is. And I'll just to piggyback on what Stardust said, it's interesting because when they announced they were discontinuing Operations, I was one of the people that cheered for that, because not that I didn't care about the story, but because I thought it would be better if they focused on more end game content. And I think that decision was made like earlier this year, or at least announced earlier this year. Mm-hmm. And like, in my opinion, if they had in place of those Operations, if they had maybe, let's say, 2 raids that came out between then and now, that would have been great. People would have been happy with that, and it would have added something that's replayable. But this is what we got, and this is what the game is. And I don't see anything changing. It'll be another 6 months before we get anything substantial, quote unquote substantial, aside from just a quality of life change. And we'll see how much longer that lasts. We'll see if they can, keep up the support. If enough players are actually playing the game to support the payroll of 5 developers. And we'll see. Who knows? But if it shuts down, it shuts down. But I'll play it until the end.
What was it about toxicity?
That's the completely neutral take. It is what it is. I know the developers that are still there are working. Some of them might be working hard, but it is what it is, man. I have so made peace with it. I'm like the friggin' yogi right now with anything that they cannot do a thing that will stir me up at all anymore. I just do not care.
Bruh, I'm so sorry. Why is this man like this?
Drop the servers. Jesus.
Why is he like
He does not take
It's a lot.
toxicity does
Like,
not take a day off, you know.
no.
The pillar of positivity on this said panel right now, Mr. Fate Walker. 2020, 2022. Give us your journey through Marvel's Avengers, sir.
Hope, frustration, acceptance.
Yes.
That sounds like you're coming out of depression, bro.
Three very simple words, but that's really, it sums it up beautifully.
Yeah, like I'll keep playing it. I've gotten my money's worth out of this game. Even with all the skins that I've bought in this game, I've gotten my money's worth out of this game. I've got like almost 2K hours. No, okay, probably 1.5K. Other people have 2K hours. My $1 per hour invested in this game is fine. The character kits. So from start to now, the character kits has always been amazing. Have never let me down. Even with the clones we've had, I've enjoyed them. The gear has improved since launch. The story has dropped off, and I'm not putting any blame to the story team. I'm putting more blame to the tools that they have to tell the story and what they're allowed to tell us. And content I will eat it up when they release it. It's not enough. So I've just accepted the fact that if we get something coming out next year, great. If we don't, I've gotten my worth out of it. Hopefully we get something. I hope. I mean, I still have that little bit of, yeah, if you've dropped something, I'm going to play it. The fact, like, we even had Alex, like, to tell you about, like, the gear. Alex released new gear in the Hive Mind in this last go. Like, I wasn't expecting that to get touched at all gear-wise. Alex and his team's busting ass for what he's got. If they only have Layla left on the story team, my heart goes out to them, and I hope that they can get more people on the team because I really enjoyed the story, and I'm sad to see what state it's gone into.
Johnny freaking Rock. 2020 to 2022, bro. Let's take a walk down Johnny's memory lane.
I mean, I really think the only way I can properly say it is if you take two popular memes from two other franchises, right? To playing launch day, it felt like the Palpatine unlimited power, right? Like there was just all the potential in the world for everything amazing and just so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about the whole thing. To now it's like the Mad TV sketch lowered expectations, right? Like it's just you've given up hope.
Oh my god!
Right? You know what it's going to be now. Trick said it so perfectly, right? What they put out this year is exactly what they're capable of. If you are constantly expecting more and disappointing yourself, that's on you at this point. To be fair, I haven't touched the game since Jane, right? The issues that I had weren't with the game itself. It was promises that the devs made on this very podcast to me and all of you about giving a true path to power and for solo players and people that are disabled or challenged with video games to be able to have a way to get to that path of power, not involving raids or content that they're incapable of doing. And it was bullshit. You know, it is what it is. It was, let's give a way to check that box and move on. You know, that's my issue. If they were to truly honor that, man, I would probably be playing with Bucky tomorrow. Right. So that's just where I am with it. So like I said, it's a bummer, right? I will forever cherish the friends that I've made through this community, and I will always cherish the opportunity that I was given to be a content creator, from the get-go and given a voice about this game. And I love the friends and the connections that I made, man. So no matter what happens with Avengers from here on out, man, like we are the superhero community. So, and if Avengers has got a home run left, I hope they hit it. If not, peace out.
Miller, I have the same question, but a little different for you.
Okay.
Because you kind of get to visually see what this game was supposed to be to what this game turned out being. So I guess that would be my question to you. How does what this was supposed to be to what this turned out being make you feel from 2020 to 2022 sitting here right now, my dude?
Well, that's a loaded question. I mean,
yes,
I know
is.
like how it becomes what we got, but like how do I feel about how it becomes?
I
Like
guess.
I mean not good, but I mean I'm proud of myself and the community, and like Johnny said, like the connections that we've built. Like who knows where we're going to be in 10 years, you know what I mean? We could be on some next Marvel game and we're all back together. 20 years from now we're on private servers on Marvel's Avengers, reliving the glory days. I don't know. Like maybe
That would be
one
awesome.
day we'll be building our own characters with mod tools somebody made, and who knows where the future's going to take us. But I mean, I have like melancholy basically about like where we are now. It's like it's bittersweet. Like things are happening and they're good, and I like the people and where we are, but it's certainly not in a good state, and it's never gonna be. It is what it is.
Damn, I did not expect to hear you say that at all. At all. Damn. Okay, 2023, guys. Let's talk 2023. Does this game continue as it is? I mean, not saying it's great or it's bad or whatever. As it is, with Bucky being and Cloning Lab being what the content is going forward. Does it get better, or do they finally just flick the switch and call it good? Starting with you, Miss Alien Fire.
It's just going to stagnate until they do decide to pull the plug. I'm not expecting anything better than what we have now. I'm going to enjoy Bucky as much as I can for as long as I can. But beyond that, I mean, it would be fantastic if we could actually get to the Kree invasion, but I don't know. I'm not very hopeful.
Slice Stardust.
A game has failed with reassuring its player base about its future when this question about is it going to get better here or is it going to be over has been a question. And this isn't a dig to you, Doom. This is just an actual fair question. That this has been a long time. Like we've been like, is it going to get better, guys? Is it happening? And a lot of that comes from the fact that we don't know whether this game has a tomorrow or a next month or a next week, whatever, right? Because they're awful at kind of conveying the future, and the only time you get to hear that there is a future is a very cocky, arrogant subreddit post by CD Nicky when he's shitting on Miller. So that's the only time we ever get a roadmap, so to speak. So I mean, does that scream confidence? No. But it's really difficult for me to sit here and be like, yeah, 2023, it's over. It's game over, because maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll stagnate. Maybe it'll get better. It's really unpredictable at this point, man. But I feel like if there was any way to explain Marvel's Avengers, it would be like a car that has no petrol that is still somehow moving. Do you know what I mean? And you're just like, what are you doing? How are you still going? How are you still going? How are you still moving?
Honestly, no. I can. It's more like one of those motorized scooters that someone's taken on the highway. You know what I mean? Like,
that's good.
There's gas in the tank, but like you know,
What are you doing on this road, sir?
Yeah.
God. Trick's ridiculous.
Like a motorized scooter that they give you at like Walmart, like one of those.
like a
That's
mobility scooter? No, I mean
yeah.
more like
Well, that's
like
pretty much
a
where they're at.
like a Segway.
Okay. All right. Well, let me segue into this. I don't think
That was good.
It is, it is what it is. I agree with both Stardust and Alien. We've been predicting the death of this game for 2 years now, right? And I mean, I don't think anyone can just straight up pinpoint it, but it's like we said, it could just stagnate. We don't know the numbers behind the scenes, but let's be honest, I mean, it's a business decision. We know that they have content in their heads for this Kree invasion and potentially forward. Does that ever get put into code into the game? I don't know. If the game's not making money, like, how can it, right? So so what was the question in general? Just how do we feel about 23?
Yeah, 23. You think game just continues on as is? Like, we're getting a Bucky Cloning Lab type stuff. Does it get better, or does it just flick the lights and cut off?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't get better. I mean, it does. I mean, whatever the next thing is, it's going to be not worth the wait, right? I mean, if in 7 or 8 months from now, in August of 23, like in March of 23, we'll get 2.8 with a traversal update and maybe a change to some tweaks to gear, right? And then in August, we, surprise, here's, I don't know, She-Hulk or whoever the hell, and whatever other 15-minute mission comes with that. And it's like, that's what we just got with Bucky and the Cloning Labs. I wouldn't expect any content drop to be bigger than that. And if the game can survive on that, it can survive on that. I'm not going to try to predict the day that it's going to pull the plug. I will say, I've been saying it for a year and 11 months, is that they should just go free to play. I think we all know this is pretty much a freemium game anyway, right? They're entirely reliant on skins, and the data proves it. I mean, they've literally had free to play weekends on PC where the player base shot up to like 12,000 or something.
Oh wow!
Going back, yeah, that happened like sometime in 21. So I mean, the data proves it. There might be something contractual because they're on Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation. There might be some type of term in there, but as soon as they can go free to play, they should go free to play, because they're definitely not selling any copies off the shelf at GameStop anymore. So if they can get a few more players in the door to maybe buy a $5 starter pack or a skin or something, like they can keep the lights on. But as far as turning things around, no. I mean, it's trending down, and updates like the one we got aren't going to be some holy turnaround,
Fate Walker, Mr. Positivity, are you going to shine some positive lights on this question?
I understand why you brought me here, and I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying. I'm trying.
I stuck you right in the middle too. Like,
all right. So, okay. We know, or at least I'm pretty sure next year is the last commitment they have, which is the Intel commitment. So, I mean, people can use that and go, yeah, that's going to be the year the game ends. I will say that if we get a hero and something comparable to the Cloning Labs next year, that's sort of my expectations. If we get half of what we got in Wakanda, I'm going to be shocked and I'm going to be super happy. If they announce end of maintenance next year, that's also not going to surprise me at all. But I hope they don't. I don't know if they'll get Kree out. I want to be more positive about it. I have no clue other than the stuff that Miller has announced about the little bit of Ultron. But even then, do they even have it? I don't know if they haven't. There's no way we're gonna get a Wakanda type expansion. So the Kree's gonna have to be something smaller, and they're gonna have and you're gonna start seeing stuff like with the small team that they have. They're gonna have to do something that's reuse content, but make it feel unique enough that it doesn't just totally tank it even more. Like, do a harm room where it has an elevator at the end of every and grab all the maps that have elevators at it, and then transition from Wakanda to the wasteland to New York. You could do something that with the harm room. I believe that will take less effort than what it would be to make an expansion, and maybe we could see something along those lines, and hopefully maybe another better path to power, so we could get Johnny back, so I can watch him play a melee Iron Man now with the new gear that's freaking melee focused gear that we're getting from Clone Labs. But I don't know. I want to give you guys hope, but expect if we get 2 heroes, I'm going to be surprised. If we get, I'm hoping to see 1. I don't know. So that's as positive as can be. I'm still hopeful. I'm still.
You know we're in trouble now,
dude. I'm cringing over here. Like, oh god, that's the positive person, yo.
When they release stuff, I find plenty of stuff that I enjoyed. There are some things I still have problems with, but I've always had problems with everything that they've released, and I've always had really good things. If they can release something next year, I'm gonna be happy. And they still could. I believe they're still working on it once they get back from break.
Okay, Johnny Rocker. Be fate walking and spit some positivity for us, bro, if you can.
Johnny? You're asking Johnny to do that?
Hey, man, I'm positive about 97% of things in life. This happens to fall within that 3%. Seriously, though, at the last podcast, when we had this same discussion, right?
Yes.
We asked a very similar question.
Mm-hmm.
My take on it then was, in order for them to turn this around in any sort of meaningful way, Cloning Labs had to come out and knock it out of the park. It had to be some kind of shining beacon of something, right? To whether Bucky was so ridiculously fun, or the mission itself was so great, or it had really fantastic. There had to be something to latch on to there, because I really feel like the critical piece of time we are looking at is between now and March, because that's the end of last year's fiscal quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at. And the thing is people say, but they've talked about the Creed, they've talked about this. At the end of the day, it is not going to be anybody at Crystal that will make the decision to shelf this game. It will be Embracer, right? And I really feel like for them to be able to continue this self-published deal and put any sort of time, money, or effort into this at all, they have to have something to hang hope on, right? If there is going to be any kind of critical look or judgment coming from Embracer over this holiday season, you guys tell me if Cloning Labs was it. But in every interaction that I've had, folks coming into my stream or just talks with you guys, not a single person said, this is fantastic. This is just as good as War for Wakanda. It's great, right? So it to me, it is what it is, right? Like, I'm not stressing about it. In my heart of hearts, I would love the home run, right? I'd love a comeback story, chat. I would love for one person at Embracer to be a Stan Lee bred true believer, right? And them to look at this game and say, man, I feel like if you would have had the money and the opportunity, you could do something. So maybe we can give you this last injection, and what can you do with it? Because I heard a very similar story from one of my friends at another company under the Embracer umbrella, that's exactly how it worked for that game. That they were managing an MMO with a very shaky future, and they said, if you could have one shot at it, what would you do? They funded that, and now that game is doing better numbers than it has in 5 years, right? So it is within the realm of reality for it to happen. That's what I would love to see happen.
The only thing I gotta say about that, Johnny, is as we have seen, Embracer likes money. They don't like losing money. They don't like anything that's going to sabotage money. They're about the money.
Well, and if you saw just what happened with Eidos Montreal, right? It was like they had one stumble with the launch of Saints Row and all that kind of stuff. And and there was some other project they were heavily weighed in, and they had already announced a new name for the company and new projects, and bam, they shut the door on it immediately. That's the way Embracer does business, right?
Johnny,
so-
let me ask you now, if so, I mean, I hope what you're saying comes true, but if you're going to have that person or that decision maker at Embracer get pitched, hey, here's what we would have wanted to do with the game, what can we do with it? How long has Embracer owned Crystal now? You think that's either been going on or still to be determined?
If you want my honest answer, I think that pitch happened before the acquisition was finished. And I think that's why when the final paperwork on the deal came out, there was no mention of Avengers. There was no mention of a blanket Marvel license. It was basically like it did not exist, and according to that deal. So, that's why I think the game is still existing in a self-published / there's still some kind of back-end deal going with Square.
I believe they had that conversation in April, May.
Yep.
But there was a tweet that was released where they said had a great conversation, had a great team meeting, right post acquisition. So I think that conversation's happened, and I don't know if what they've released this year is a proof of concept that then they go back to Embracer and get judged on, and see if they get even more funding from what this is.
Like I think it all came down to money, it all come down to public perception. Let's be real. Perception and is reality in the gaming space, right? And they needed, at the minimum, a PR win, right? They needed a piece of content where people could say, hey, let's give them a chance.
So how long is that chance, though? I mean, like Fate said, if that happened April, May, they're going on 7 months now. I mean, what's the window?
That's why I think the hard cutoff's March, right? That's the end of the fiscal quarter. Like, we give you an entire quarter to see what you can do, So.
Mr. Miller, you actually can see what they're working on, which is, I think it's so awesome to have a vision into the actual future of the game. But from a personal opinion, just an opinion, I don't want you to get yourself in any kind of trouble or anything like that. I'm going to ask you the same question and just keep it at that. 2023, does the game continue as is with Bucky style, clones and cloning lab style drops? Does it get better, or do they flip that switch and cut it off?
I'll say this, like the content coming in 2023, like, is that an improvement over what we've gotten in 2022? I doubt it very much. I don't think it's, oh gosh, what can I say? There's a lot of decisions that have already been made. And yeah, what the future will be, I think, has already been decided.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yes!
Damn.
Stand in the chance!
Dude, that sounds so grim, bro. Like, damn. Okay,
I mean,
we're free.
Don't get me wrong. Like, listen, like if they always say, like one of the big reasons they hate leaks, I've said this like so many times already, is that if it hasn't been announced, it's not final.
Right.
Nothing's been announced. They could totally change their prove Miller wrong. Go for it.
Oh, you know what? Say the game's gonna crash so they can try to prove you wrong and keep it running through December, because Babro asked, do you guys actually think the game will last till December? And that was actually a part of this question. So I'll just ask that question to the panel. Do you guys think we'll get Marvel's Avengers through next December? Alien Fire, yes or no? And you're muted, by the way. Alien? Yeah, you're muted. You hit that mute button. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. Do you think we'll still be playing Marvel's Avengers in December of next year, of 2023? Yes or no?
No.
Damn. Slice Stardust, yes or no?
I mean, I can promise you I won't be playing it next December. I don't know about everyone else, but I won't be. That is a guarantee. I can leak that now for you all. Next December, I'm not. But I mean, if you're on about is the game up running still playable, then no, I don't think it will be.
Tricks ridiculous.
You'll be playing offline.
Yeah.
Positivity, Walker. What you saying, bro?
I think it'll still be playable. I'll still play it if they release content. I think we might hear an potential out of maintenance, but that's probably going to be worse. I don't think it's going to be shut down. So yes, I'll still be playing it.
Nerd. No joking.
Did y'all really understand what he just said? That out of maintenance, y'all know what that means, right? Like, yeah, you can play the game, but there's nothing that's going to happen to that game. Like, if there's bugs in the game, those bugs are a part of the game. Oh my god,
That's the same with a lot of bugs that are already in the game.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, Black Widow has had the same bugs since launch, and they have. Anyway, Johnny Rocker, December. What do you got? 2023, yes or no?
I 100% agree with Trix and Fate that I think this isn't a game like Marvel Heroes, so when they shut it down, it's gone, right? This will just be a game where they say, unfortunately, we'll no longer be supporting content moving forward on Avengers, and they will patch in a way to where you get to keep all your skins, all your stuff you had, and because the networking works peer-to-peer, right? So you may even still be able to matchmake with your friends and all that, but look at it this way. You want some positivity? There will be no more new game-breaking bugs after that. No more new bugs.
I don't know if I die on that hill, Johnny. You never know.
Mr. Miller, can you even answer that question?
I mean, I can illuminate one thing. It's important to keep in mind though, like it is a licensed game. They don't own the IP. So even if the servers are still up, like the game can only be listed for as long as they're paying for the license. So it's going to reach a point where they can't sell it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, do I think that's right around the corner? No. But I mean, like, you won't be able to buy a digital copy of Marvel's Avengers forever. Like, I can't give an ETA on that one, but like, do keep that in mind.
That happened with the Marvel Ultimate Alliance for people that are like, wait, is that true? Like, there's so many Spider-Man games as well that are like selling for mental money, Shattered Dimensions, Web of Shadows and stuff, because they're not on the shelf. Unless you like find like a pre-owned like store, bargain store, whatever, that you've got no chance of finding them on shelves anymore.
Can I interject something real quick?
Please.
It's funny that he brought that up because this is something I speculated on a year ago when the Activision Xbox deal got announced. Can you imagine if Big Papa Phil Spencer and that big old Microsoft checkbook goes to Activision, who made all those old amazing Marvel games, and brings all that to Game Pass, to where
I remember jumping on your stream about that, actually. Yep. And I actually said that I would jump on Xbox and change sides from being a Sony pony to an Xbox.
Yep. That becomes the hardest sell for Sony when it's the home of Spider-Man. And then there's 15 Spider-Man games on Xbox, right, that you can play for free with Game Pass. So let's hope.
Bruh. Ooh, okay. Golly, this is really wild. Like, cause y'all have answered some of the next questions for this segment already with these answers, and it's okay. Fate Walker had a good little bit in there. He said he'd be surprised if we got 2 heroes, but he does think we will get 1 hero this coming year in 2023. Alien Fire, what hero is that?
Captain Marvel.
Slice Stardust, what hero?
Yeah.
I think it'll be a playable Doctor Doom.
I wish.
What?
No, I think it's going to be, I think it'll probably be Captain Marvel.
Tricks.
With an Iron Man moveset.
I'm going to say She-Hulk.
That was a good guess. God damn, that was a good guess. Fate Walker, what hero would you expect to come?
She-Hulk. I wanted to go like Riri or just somebody that I'd like to see, but She-Hulk, at least from what, unless whatever's stopping She-Hulk from coming out is something that was a licensing issue that they eventually didn't get cleared, unless whatever's stopping her from coming out is something that's out of their control. She-Hulk's next. I don't know if I would expect Danvers.
It was in their control. I've heard even more about that lately, and I feel so bad for Kritzia Bajos. I do, because I've heard like really good things about her performance, but like I think we're at a point where it's like, who knows if we're ever going to hear it, and that's so sad.
Yeah,
it is.
Don't they do that stuff pretty far out? Scott Porter said he was cast like 2 years ago for Witness.
Yeah, it was the same schedule for her.
2019, he said, I think.
Yep.
Which was like 3 years ago. Yeah, that's.
And we've not had a whiff of who's done Danvers. So,
Johnny Rocker, who you got coming to the game for 2023?
I mean, it has to be one of those two, right? Because the cloning labs clearly dictates the only thing that they are using are assets that were already mostly done or what were already done. There's no funding money for anything new, right? So if She-Hulk was the closest to finish, it'd be her. I think if they are trying to put the final stamp on the game, it'll be Captain Marvel.
But they do have voice lines pertaining to Captain Marvel already, and because Miller actually released them some time ago, so
they're going to get to a point where they're just going to release the robot version of that and just be like, the voice actor is AI, guys. Just deal with it, all right?
Right.
Carol Danvers is played by, I don't know, a robot version.
It has half the moves of a normal character. Just whatever.
Iron Man repulsor beams. Like,
I mean, it's probably gonna be that anyway. Let's be real.
Binary will look like Arc Overload. It'll be crazy.
It'll be just a Jarvis barrier, bro.
Yeah.
Mr. Miller. Name 6 heroes, and one of those heroes could possibly be the hero that will be in the game in 2023.
That's kind of wild, you know.
Flashback to the game here, like seriously.
Okay.
6 heroes. Let me shit. Where's my damn pen at? Let me write this down. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready, sir.
Okay. Yelena Belova. Shuri. Ironheart. Captain Marvel.
Okay.
She-Hulk.
Okay.
And Doc Samson.
Those were the choices when,
we know nothing further than what we knew 30 seconds ago.
No,
I was
this
really,
is all
really
like.
hoping you throw Songbird in there since she's got a voice actor.
Oh.
Songbird has a voice actor?
Oh, in the files, right?
Yeah,
Like
Melissa Gold. Melissa Gold's got a voice actors.
Well, you know,
I feel like it'd be Sherry out of those lots.
You're gonna be on Reddit confirming Doc Samson. Miller confirms Doc Samson on
the therapist
by Jon Snow. Yeah.
Stardust has 3 videos made already, just in case.
No, scratch that, bro. That's old days. That was before before I fell into the eels.
Wait, if they reuse assets, okay, hold on. If all they got left is to reuse assets, then my theory about Roy being Loki is more plausible, right?
I can see that.
Roy the robot?
Yeah.
Is
Roytron. Roytron.
Yeah.
No, they would have to create Loki. Like, no.
Loki's got a model in the last iconic mission.
We're not all thinking Giga Brain enough, right? What if Ultron is
No,
Loki in this version?
Like, we never saw him per se.
Did he not? I thought
Nick Fury's Loki.
No. He appeared as Thor.
I thought he changed.
He showed up in the comic.
I would still go.
Yeah.
I would still say Roy being Ultron at this point makes more sense as far as the story is concerned.
Oh yeah.
What if Loki is the Nick Fury that does the tutorial for new players, and the reason that Nick Fury tells you what happens is to troll new players?
What if,
I like that.
Why Monica keeps running away is that Monica's really Loki. Loki killed Monica a long time ago.
If you're a new player and you join the game, it's just welcome to hell.
You and Sadat on the same boat right now, bro.
Right? Like that's why she kept
man.
get to the cloning labs. Monica ran away. Like what? What do you mean she ran away? You teleported with her.
How did she run away?
We kidnapped her in the mission previous to that.
I want someone, if anyone in chat or even on this panel can do this, I want the meme of the "Why are you running?" meme, but like the guy getting out the car's MODOK and the person running away is Monica.
Okay, I got a question for the whole panel. Who is Roy, Loki or Ultron? Alien Fire.
Ultron.
Slice Stardust.
Brian Wagner.
Yes, thank you.
Gone.
Sorry. It's Ultron. It's Ultron.
Hold on. Tricks Ridiculous.
Ultron.
Faye Walker.
I want it to be Loki, but it's whatever Miller says.
that was such a sulking vibe. Whatever Miller says.
Johnny Rocker.
It's Roytron, full on.
Okay. Miller.
Ultron, but now I want to say Quake or something. I don't have that power.
I've been the only one to hold on to that theory, and it
at this point it just doesn't flow with the story. Like,
No.
But
the
what
story
flows
is
with the
kind of
story?
I mean, the story is already all over the place
Like-
as is, but
Wait.
I'll be so miserable if they do the Ultron story but don't actually use Roy as the catalyst for it. Like it's just, oh, AIM made a robot and now it's evil. Go fight it. It's called Ultron.
Okay.
You want to know like what the story feels like to me now? Does anybody remember the old Saturday Night Live skits with John Lovitz where he was the liar and he would just make up so there I was in the Congo and there was a robot, robots, and then I did this, that's completely what this entire Bucky narrative feels like to me. Like it's a fever dream of John Lovitz the liar. Like it's so crazy.
it is what it is, bro. Like I actually like I was so I wanted this story to be fire. You know what I mean? I wanted it to just
We all did.
Yeah.
But even with Wakanda, like Wakanda should have been the end of AIM. I was like, okay, this is the end of AIM. We're about to switch into something new, and Monica is still around. Like, that's my next question to the entire panel, and this is free for all. Whoever wants to go first, please do so. Who would have thought in 2020 that in 2023 we would still be fighting Monica? Anybody can answer that question.
Are we? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it was the cheapest way they could have done it. But, like, I mean, it seems like they took her off the board, you know? Like, is she still around? Yeah, stay tuned. But, like, it seems like the intent is, like, no more Monica.
Well,
They didn't introduce anybody to replace her, though. So I'm thinking...
Yeah, exactly.
So they took her off the board in during the Wasteland,
Beating the odds,
right? And then they brought her back on the board in Wakanda at that last little bit with her talking to Claw,
Well, yeah.
which I don't think we're ever going to be rid of AIM. Like I'm going ahead and put that down. AIM's never going away. Whether Ultron eventually consumes it and it becomes Ultron's army, AIM's not going away. If we had killed Monica or captured Monica, Getz would have gotten out of prison. So there would always be a scientist supreme.
That's fine, but we don't have to fight the scientist supreme.
Are we
you know what I mean?
So
Like,
someone in chat made a really good point, and I think it's kind of a not a continuity problem, but a bit of a story problem of AIM have done way too much to remain good in the public eye, or at least not 100% look like the enemy in the public eye. AIM attacked a whole different country. And they mentioned that Wakanda isn't secret anymore. It has done deals with outside Wakanda, obviously closed in for the story, but like they have done that stuff before. So how come the entire world's superheroes who are on Earth, obviously, I'm not expecting Captain Marvel to come rushing in for just AIM, but like, you know, like everyone bands together to stop AIM. Why haven't we had that happen yet? It's so
What's so
weird to
crazy
me that
is
like
Captain
Can't afford it.
America in one of those missions even
there's literally
mentions.
Rocket
He's like,
Rocket Flare, yeah.
you know, the world knows that AIM is foul and yada yada yada. And like,
True.
I think he says, you know, something about like the police have done their investigations and everything. Like it was supposed to be done. Like,
That's before Kate's DLC as well, where as they're in the snowy tundra bit, there's like, I think Widow mentions that people are still sort of 50-50 on, is AIM what do you mean, guys? It's Captain America. Why do you just not like him anymore?
yeah, I mean, it was one of the missions way back. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was before we got Wakanda. Like, you know, the Avengers are actually, you know, considered heroes again, and AIM are looking like the outlaws, but it never changed as far as the in-game playing. Like, it's still like AIM owns everything. You know what I mean? And that's already been established that they're the outlaws now, and the Avengers are back in the good graces of the people. So what the is going on? Fate Walker, can you help me? Please.
AIM's got a really great PR team. So I mean, I
definitely didn't get that from CD. I'll tell you now.
We're only gonna guess at this point, right? We're only gonna hypothesize that maybe they're saying, well, that's just a rogue group that got taken over by Claw's people. I expect Wakanda, even though the world knows about them, I would expect them anything within their borders. They're still going to try to kind of sort of keep in their borders, especially early on in the Wakanda campaign. T'Challa didn't want to go to anybody. T'Challa was like already hesitant to go with the Avengers. Last thing he wants to do is say, oh, Wakanda's totally open to be attacked because some of these can already do it, whether it was AIM or Claw, which, you know, Monica pulled out at last minute so she could wipe her hands clean of the whole Wakanda attack, even though he's got her bots. He even eventually mind controls her men. So not really an AIM thing. It's a mega villain had used AIM in that sense. I'm trying to think if there's any news coverage that we see on any of the missions that where we have. I think a lot of this stuff is in Utah. It's a big open area, desert. I still not sure how, if AIM's got all this crazy buildings in Utah, how the heck they didn't find the freaking helicarrier early on, because that's where that was. But I mean, if they can't find a helicarrier, then everything's taken down. Yeah.
It kind of seemed like to me that like even in the actual main campaign, that people started being terrified of AIM when they had the warship, you know, covering the city in smoke to get rid of the Inhumans and that. Because what's his name? The news guy, Phil Sheldon. That's it. Yeah, thank you. And like they're panicking. He's panicking. He's like, what's going? Because obviously they don't know it's for Inhumans. So everyone's panicking. They're like, oh my god, we're gonna die. We're being all gassed out of our city and stuff like that. And he's on the news. People are witnessing the warship that's got a big fat AIM logo on it, that's spraying this potentially deadly mist upon, you know, the eastern seaboard.
Right. That's the mission that Thor comes back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit. So you are right. That looks bad too, because like Phil Sheldon's also like, you know, AIM stuff going on with AIM and you know, But I mean, the one where Cap comes back and it's like during the daytime bit in the little Eastern Seaboard mission. And you go into that little garage. Yeah, that's right. And then you come out and they're there. And it's just like, at that point, you would imagine that, like, come on, guys. AIM are clearly the bad guys here. Like, I feel.
I have a question. Like I'll need you guys to refresh my diabetes brain. But I know we had conversations in the old Illuminati group with the devs about the next enemies, right? And I'm not sure if they ever addressed this publicly. That's why I'm kind of asking you guys. Maybe this was said, but they told us back then the hardest problem they had with pivoting away from AIM is because of the rating of the game. Is that if all of a sudden it's the Avengers smashing through human beings, it becomes an entirely different thing, and they couldn't sell it all. Like Australia all of a sudden would have an issue with the Avengers game, right? So that's why it was robots.
Sorry. I'm sorry. That's
right?
BS because we do have human
Watchdogs.
enemies among AIM, and we just incapacitate them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see them knocked out.
Yeah, exactly. So even if all the robots disappeared tomorrow, we'd
Right.
still be able to go on with something else, and nobody would die. And no.
But that's why I was asking. Like that was what they gave us behind the scenes. Of like, but I didn't know if they ever said that, like Alex or anybody on one of the podcasts too.
I can give you an example of what they did in the game, from the game, where AIM's PR team is amazing. Widow's iconic mission. When she goes into the underground thing and she sends all these people all those millions of dollars for what AIM does, and then AIM makes a public announcement saying, "Oh, we donated this because the Avengers are evil and bad," and then that's what turns Melissa gold, because there's an intel file where she's like, "What has the Avengers ever done for us? Look what AIM's doing for us, giving us all this money," and then Melissa goes to AIM, and that's where like the whole Songbird. That's why I thought Songbird and Mockingjay were going to be coming out when Hawkeye was being announced. Before Kate. Well, yeah, I thought that was going to be the next hero, because I felt like that was just storyline wise, like easy, because there's both of them right there.
Right.
But they've got intel files where they do an amazing job to blame it on. They're probably just saying, look, that gas was developed by Tony. We thought it was there to kind of sort of calm the masses. Like they could do that, right? Like what they did with Widow.
You might want to DM Layla, bro, because you killing it. Right
It's
now,
a great. It is. I won't lie. That's a great thing. But then the only thing I would say to that is that would you not sort of. So obviously, it's. I mean, they can say whatever they want. The people can in the game world can react however they want to react. But like, I would look at that and be like, that's a lot of excuses coming from this very big organization that runs the world at the moment. Like, you would be a little bit like.
They also control all information too. So all the billboards and all, like, that's all controlled when you're running through New Jersey. Like they've got a very iron fist PR team. I could just see them playing it off some way, somehow playing it off that it's not them. It was something else that was out of their control or being evil against them. Look how nice we are. Here's some money.
Well, damn.
Here's your free bot to clean your house. That will also protect you.
Huh.
While we hunt down the Avengers.
All right. Last question in this segment, and we're gonna move on to something a little bit different. We're gonna let Alien take over and ask y'all some questions. But is there any way in yes or no question? Is there any way in hell in 2023 we get a new location aside from Wakanda, the Netherlands or whatever, Utah Badlands and the Greenlands and the Wastelands and all of that? Is there a new spot that's gonna pop up on the map? Starting with you, Alien Fire. Yes or no?
I want Asgard, but I know I'm not gonna get it, so no.
Damn. It's like Stardust.
I think they will have a new location, but it won't actually be a new location, if you know what I'm saying. So like it'll say, you know, like the Wastelands is basically Utah with fog and a cool background. It's going to be that, right? It's going to be like a Kree, I don't know, Kree, whatever, and it's just going to be a bunch of and it's going to be a bunch of like indoor buildings that look like AIM buildings but have Kree logos and different sort of colors and stuff, and that's it really. That's what I think they'll do.
Johnny Rocker, any new locations, any new biomes 2023?
See, that's where I got to disagree with Alien Fire. Is I think we will get Asgard, and we will then learn that Asgard was highly influenced by AIM's architecture.
Oh,
right? And it'll be
like
wow, this is where they got these elevators and the yellow lighting.
No, Johnny, there's no elevators in Asgard. Thor despises elevators. You know that.
Oh god.
That's why he had a traumatic experience as a child.
That's why he left Asgard.
Driving an elevator. So there you go.
Fate Walker, new locations 2023, bro.
If the reason why the 2 positions are removed from their website was because they filled those positions, I think we could see a new boss and we could see a new level. Because both the level design and the boss design positions were up last March and they are now gone. I could see a counter argument that they also just did they took them all down and made, because all you see now is just a generic one for all their games, but there were 2 specifically, boss designer, level designer, specifically called out Marvel Avengers. If they filled it, yes, we'll see something. If they didn't, probably not.
Mr. Miller.
I mean, we just got a new location. What are you talking about? We got AIM Island.
You mean the last half of Inhuman Condition?
Yeah.
With a little bit of going into the start of a
You broke it, Fate Walker. You broke it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That wasn't expected to come from me. I'm sorry. My bad.
And then
Someone else say that.
And then they took the water from the wasteland. And
You're supposed to be the positivity person, Fate Walker. What have you done?
Okay. Here's the positive. Bucky was great. I love the one puzzle we got out of Clone Labs. And I like the gear. Yeah, I like that puzzle. That puzzle was great. It was challenging. It was actually probably one of the most difficult puzzles there is right now. That we have.
It wasn't a puzzle. It was an exercise in frustration.
It annoys me that you have to like reload the checkpoint yourself rather than just like the game sort of being like, no, you need 4 to do this, and then it reloads for you. I find that really annoying, but that's an Avengers thing. So
Man, I'm done. Okay.
Sorry, Doom. I apologize. I'll go back onto my corner. It's amazing. I love everything.
I can't with y'all right now. New villains. Is there even a possibility that we can get a new villain in this game? I personally think it's Monica until the death of the game. What do you say, Miller?
I think we're getting Ultron.
Ultron, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting
You
Ultron.
know what, you
They've already
leaked that
done a lot of
earlier.
work on him.
It was Ultron all along.
I think we got him. I don't think we're going to get very compelling cutscenes around him. I think he might sort of jankily teleport in a room in his idle animation. But I think we're going to get a boss fight. Yeah.
I want him to crash the party just like he did in Age of Ultron.
That would be great.
That would be fantastic.
Ultron's special move will be the T-pose.
Yes,
Right.
indeed.
Ultron will suspiciously do all the super adaptoid moves, and that's it.
Oh, he's got a bunch of
And he-
unique attacks already. Like
Ooh.
Oh.
Wait, okay. Who worked on these attacks? Was this Nepali's team or was this the new team?
I don't know how much of a role Vince Napoli had in like boss design anyways, but most of the work on Ultron that was being done was done like quarter 2 to 3 of like last year.
So no, he was gone then. He was already gone.
I would also say that the original Cloning Labs was better than the one we did get, so I wouldn't be too excited to see them actually use the cool Ultron stuff, and I probably will just be like half super adaptoid.
Where were the
Yeah,
clones and
but
cloning
grey
lab?
instead of
Where
green.
were the clones and cloning lab is what I want to know.
The interior, the actual mission.
Okay, I can give a little bit of tea. That's kind of funny.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
I was holding this one back. Okay, so No Rest for the Wicked, right? The like AIM Island mission. So there's like 2 cut phases from it that didn't ultimately like show up in the final version. So when you get to that like sabotage area, you finish it, and then it's like, oh, there's a Quinjet or whatever it is, the dropship outside of that door. We got to go, right? Well, apparently, originally, there's like a separate exit that you go through, and you get in there, and it's like there's like a shield covering a door, and you have to like take down the shield. And then you finally get the shield down and you go through and everybody's like, oh, it's so cold. What is this? And you keep going through this corridor and there's a bunch of Terrigen. There's like a huge amount of Terrigen. And everybody's like, oh my God, this is more than A-Day. What the hell is this about? And Kamala's kind of freaking because she's like, oh my God, it's A-Day 2.0. Like, you know what I mean? And then, but Cap is like, what was it, Cap or was it? I think it was Nat that was like, maybe she found another source. And then, so then there's like this weird anomaly thing that I can't place what it is, but there's dialogue that talks about like, what was that? And then they're like, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it was Monica's style. And then, so you then break into this last room and then boom, there's a Kree sentry there. And that's where the like another Kree sentry, that's where that line was. And then it is implied that the Terrigen, it came from a working relationship between AIM and the Kree, and which would have like, I guess, set the stage for what would have been their Kree invasion next year storyline. But they cut all of that and they took bits and pieces of it and gave it to Cloning Lab. Like there's like a couple of those lines that got reused in Cloning Lab. But then like when you run into MODOK at the end of that original version, there was a different MODOK line that never even got finished. So it seems like they abandoned it at one point and then just decided to salvage parts of it for Cloning Lab. I'm curious because like there was a semi-unique boss room where the Abominations and Cloning Lab were. And I was always wondering why they didn't put the MODOK boss fight in there. But I figured it was, because they want the skybox of the hangar so that they could do like a Kree Sentry flyby and reuse the Kree Sentry stuff there, right? But they didn't do that. It's just in a hangar for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm curious if they just couldn't finish that stuff in time. And the intention was first to put it on AIM Island, which is not an island and is inexplicably named an island, and they never changed the mission description for some reason. But you know, they were going to put it in Cloning Lab and then it just didn't get done on time. Or if it was like, well, let's not tease the Kree invasion anymore, you know? And also that is very dumb. Like the Kree AIM relationship, very, very odd. I don't get that. And also they don't have the budget to tell that story. Let's not play games. Like I think you could do something fun with like, oh, Monica got the heads up about how the future's going and how future Monica went because they talked, right? And so like she's gonna actually work with the Kree or blah blah or something like that. Like you could do something fun there, but they do not have the budget to tell that. Like look at the cutscenes we just got. Like that's not happening. So yeah, that's a bit of tea about bosses. And
well, and to piggyback off everything Miller just said, and shout out to Bob for this, because Bob was the guy in the VIP Discord really digging for answers on Cloning Labs, because it went from very early. They kept telling us, oh, it's in testing phase right now. We're going to have it in just a couple of weeks, to then they started talking about Wakanda and all that kind of stuff. And Bob was the one that would keep bringing it up. Like, so we're still getting Cloning Labs gear. What's going on? And when we had that big shift from Team 1 to Team 2, they came right out and told us that the problem with Cloning Labs was that the mission was running between 45 minutes to like an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 minutes to get to the final boss fight, right? And the issue that they had is there was a memory leak on the original gen consoles that they couldn't fix. So what would happen is a PS4 or an Xbox One player would get near the end to where all the cool stuff's supposed to happen, and it would crash. So they eventually scrapped it. That was what came from the new team to us. They were kind of just throwing it on the old team. Like, well, they couldn't figure it out, and you know, we started focusing on Wakanda, you know, and that was the thing. So everything Miller just said makes complete sense, that it sounds like they had great ambitions for something really big, and the technical side wouldn't work out. So
It's the same thing with Jane and the same thing with Bucky, where like they set out to do quite a bit and then fall short and kind of have to sweep up what they got, and that's what we end up with. And there's so much animosity towards the work of the old team that really rubs me the wrong way, because like there were very talented people on that team doing very good work, and frankly too, like I don't know that you're in any position to judge. You know,
I prefer the content that the old team released to what the new team's releasing.
100% agree.
So
like obviously there's circumstantial differences in like what they can get out and the size of the team. Of course, I'm not saying they're faultless, but like it's just harsh, like the vibe sometimes towards the old team. Like it's like
I enjoyed it.
But it like somebody in chat was just saying too, like the subtitles in Cloning Lab don't match up because of how much that was in flux. Like the half the time we get like content leaks now in patch notes, like it's all very haphazardly kind of strung together, and it just feels really sloppy.
I'm wondering, Miller. Sorry, do you know if they changed their character model artists? Like, do you know if those are still the same as we had?
Brian recently talked about like some of the cosmetic stuff, like a lot of it being outsourced.
Well, I mean, the outfits look fantastic, but I'm talking about the way Jane and Bucky look, like their faces, like they're just. If you compare them to the original team, like the original Avengers, like I mean, they all look fantastic, but those two, it seems that they were rushed and just like I don't know.
I don't know the name of the man, but I have seen the ArtStation account of the guy that used to do the faces in the game. Like he has
so talented.
All of the ones that he had up. He is very consistent about posting the work that he's done, like once it's released. So you could go and see his ArtStation account, and if it's up there, then I would assume he did it. But if not, I'm going to assume he didn't.
Good to know. Thanks.
Well, I got one thing to say, and I'm not actually going to say it. I'm going to let the music speak for itself, y'all. Welcome to the show. Y'all already know.
It's your boy, Duke. You are now rocking with the best. Billy June, let's show what we do. Let's go. That's the truth. We go crazy, baby. You know what the deal is. Thunder clapping everything, clearing the room real quick. Camera with that plasma status, you know that is deal.
For the old UI.
The streets finishing with a shield kick. The first to find the sequence ball. Pass fast. The first one shot kill with hoe. No cap. Oh, you looking for some tips and tricks that'll help you get better? Have you ready for that one? Y'all in Wakanda forever. Never back down. Make it bone shake and shiver. Unload a
this game used to be fire.
Can we play that game again?
Iron Man show you why he's invincible. Damn, homie, they ain't ready for this. Scatter shot, I'm working, hurting worse than slitting your wrist. Hit subscribe, smash like, ring the bell, stay tuned. Now without further ado, here's the duel that you. Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
All right.
Anyway, LeJune's here.
I ain't gonna lie.
That theme song hard, bro. That theme song hard, bro. LeJune, how you doing, good sir? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just waking up. I've been busy all day, so like I can hop on.
I ain't mad at you, dog. Welcome. And we also gonna bring on two more people, man. We got a couple of DSG members in the background waiting to come on and just chop it up with some of these fine people on this panel. We're gonna bring the boy Babe Bro in here, and we're gonna bring the boy Order Game in there too. So let's get it.
Hi guys.
Is this the biggest the RoundTable's ever been? I've never seen your thing like fully stacked. You know what I mean?
You gotta play the Brady Bunch song.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
There was a thing. I'm good, yo. LeJune, Babe Bro, Porter Gamer. Real quickly, I'm gonna ask each of y'all these questions real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. So let Alien do her thing. Does this game continue as is, like we're getting stuff like Bucky Barnes in Cloning Lab? Does it get better? Like, the Cyberpunk comeback, or do they finally click the lights off and shut the thing down in 2023? The June, let's go.
I'll be.
I'll watch it Twitter, sir.
This man might receive a strongly worded message in a certain Discord later, let me tell you.
It's not gonna happen. I'm just.
And that's coming from a person who was on one of their first War Table clips. That's crazy.
For the gamer.
I feel it'll have content at least through September, which gives it another year from the day of when it came out. So a total of 3 years. So it looks, far more successful. It made 3 years. We did this. I don't know for sure if it's going to make it to the end of next year. I would expect Patrol. I would expect She-Hulk or Captain Marvel, if not both of them, to be honest with you. Because one of the biggest, I think, screw-ups was they were like, you know what? We're not doing She-Hulk. We're doing Jane. And then it seemed like that pushed things back by months. Now, if She-Hulk has a lot of work done on her, then I think it's feasible we could get both Captain Marvel and She-Hulk next year.
Have you not been listening to this conversation, sir?
I have been. Why?
He's spilling. Let him talk. It's true.
Hold up, let him cook.
Keep cooking, bro.
I don't think it's as negative as everyone thinks. I don't know.
Oh, well, you need to sit in the middle. Fade Walker, you lost your spot.
Yep, see you later. Bye.
Yeah.
He's sending it to Hate Walker now.
Babe, bro. 2023 game continue as is with content releases as Bucky Barnes and Cloning Lab. Does it get better in the Cyberpunk way, or do they cut them lights off?
Hey, Cap.
They ain't got no Cyberpunk budget or a Cyberpunk team. So no.
They don't have the ambition.
They already talking about a Cyberpunk sequel. Like what?
Okay, but they're talking about that now, for the record. This is what gets me. The Cyberpunk revival in the public consciousness that barely had anything to do with them. They'd already written off the game. They canceled a bunch of their DLC plans. They were basically shuttering. And then the anime that they had planned came out, and now they're like, oh shit, people actually want this again. Okay, let's go back.
Yeah, but that to me that works. It's better than what Avengers
it's true.
did.
I mean, you have to
better than
spend
what
money.
Avengers did with this.
I mean, God bless.
Lord.
Frankly, they
I
were
haven't
spending
used
money
this,
on
by
this
the way.
game.
I don't even think the site is around
Jesus.
anymore.
I think honestly, speak for yourself. That pack of gum got me playing Cloning Lab. It was.
Jesus. I remember that.
I don't think it'll be around. I think it'll be RIP next year.
Damn. The new hero. Miller says that we could at least get at least one. He named off 6 possible heroes, with one of them possibly being the one that's going to be entered into the game in 2023. What hero is that for you, Lejeune?
I mean,
Who's Eileen?
Eileen.
I guess She-Hulk.
She-Hulk? Okay.
I guess.
Wait, Fade Walker, you got to go back in the middle just for a little while. For the gamer, who we got?
I definitely hope for She-Hulk, and I know I'll be getting way too many of the skins if they do them well. It'll be amazing if she actually does break the 4th wall. I really hope, though, she's not like a complete clone of Hulk, because she does things quite a bit differently, like in the comics and everything.
Have you not been listening to this conversation for the last hour, or the gamer?
I have been. What is wrong? What?
He ain't got no money, bro. He's gonna be a clone. It's gonna be a clone.
You know what the War Table's going to say?
Are there 40 or I thought there were 40 or 50 people total in this studio for working on it now. Is that true or not?
But they got about 4 or 5 people,
War
not
Table
40 or 50.
I thought it was quite a bit more than that, but 40 or 50 isn't a lot for a game like this, though.
The War Table.
I think I can name all of the devs on one hand.
Well, there's a lot of people doing stuff that you don't see.
Oh,
but
okay.
even then, they keep sifting people off the Tomb Raider like to this day.
Not all of them are on the Reddit. Spilling.
Faye Walker said I got something positive. Oh, hold on, Faye. Let Babe Bro answer this question real quick and then give us that positivity. Babe Bro, the hero.
I think it's to be fair, I'm happy at everybody he named because I think all 5 were girls.
Except for Doc Samson.
I don't even care. I don't know who that is.
Doc Samson's cool, honestly. Doc
Samson is like a
a
super popular hero, at least in the 90s.
I don't even.
You know like the first Hulk movie, like the one with like before Mark Ruffalo, right?
Eric Bana?
Not the Eric Bana one. Yeah.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Edward Norton.
Do you remember the character who was like the guy from Modern Family? He was like
watch that Hulk movie?
the new husband of like Betty Ross.
Oh, that was Doc Samson, huh?
That was Doc Samson.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
I don't even know. I just hope it's a female. I don't care if it's a clone. It would be nice. I will say this. It would be nice if it's Shuri because it'll be a black girl. So
okay.
I would like that. Maybe.
All right. And villain, the new villain, which I think it's pretty much going to be Ultron. So we'll ask y'all 3 on the bottom row. Is Roy going to be Ultron or Loki?
Or Monica?
I mean, I would expect Roy to be Ultron. It makes sense.
Right.
Harder Gamer?
Definitely Ultron, because you had the old Ant-Man that actually made that robot. All of a sudden, there's all those robots that, it's very similar to the whole Ultron storyline, and I would be shocked if it turned out not to be Ultron.
Babe Bro.
That one line gave it away. The one line in When You Finish is it the Cosmic Cube mission? Where she goes, I think Kate goes, it's giving 8 vibes, and he goes, whatever do you mean? Like he says, he gets spicy. Like he says something back, Roy. I don't know if you guys know what I'm saying, where you put we have to destroy the things around the cube. He says a line like, I don't know what you're talking about, like something like that. Oh my God. No, you didn't, Sadat. I was bad. I'm glad I'm not the Thanos of the group this time. Y'all going off with your mouths today. Everybody's apart.
Faye Walker, positivity, please.
All right. We've been ripping on the Clone Labs. I'm gonna tell you one of the positive things from Clone Labs is the actual length of the Clone Labs. I find myself wanting to be able to go in and go, yeah, I've got 15 minutes that I can go in and run it outside of having to wait for reset so I can get gear. So I think they've taken a lesson learned from the previous raids and stuff that gear is a little bit easier to go grab from Clone Labs once you get a character to 185. But once you're there,
they need to swap power levels for each thing.
I think a lot of us were disappointed in the lack of how much content we got, but what we did get as far as farming in-game stuff, Clone Labs is actually a pretty good link for me.
All right, let's take a quick break. Let Alien do her thing real quick. Alien, hopefully you got your questions together. Let's get a little merch promo going on. You not ready, Alien?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
FinancialFelons.com is where you can find the latest and exclusive DSG gear, from Fire or Trash, Excelsior Now, DSG Team Gear, and more. That's www.financialfelons.com. Make sure to use code DOOM for 15% off. That's code DOOM for 15% off. This is your DSG brand ambassador spring, and you know the motto, let the good times roll.
The Alien in the captain's chair. We're going to bring Miller up here because I know she has a few questions from Twitter from Miller.
How many questions are we talking about?
You can ask 3 of the questions from Twitter, and then you can ask whatever questions you have for the panel.
All right. So, first question is from Robert on Twitter. If they do try and lean into the remix of Heroes, seeing how Winter Soldier ended up being a pretty job in that, could we expect some characters not quite in line with what was originally thought? Maybe Wolverine, Daredevil, Moon Knight.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of the characters on that list, I think, were a big surprise to people. You know, like, I think there's a desire to break new ground, if nothing else.
True. Then we have a question from James, also on Twitter. What do you think in a post-Square Enix world would it take for Embracer to invest in the game long term? How much do you think it would take to get the live service part on track? That's a good question.
I mean, I think that ship sailed.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think it's a tough decision to make for Embracer. I think that conversation probably happened a long time ago. You know what I mean? I think at this point, it's just a matter of, let me put it this way. I think if Embracer's intention was to proceed, I think this year would have looked different.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Then there's a question from Jack Sharples, also on Twitter. Will we get more new characters with story missions?
No. I doubt it very much. I mean, you're gonna get story. Like, I mean, we were talking earlier about the writing. Like, to me, I think I'm actually shocked by how good of a writer I find Layla to be. Like, I think she really gets it. Like, hearing her talk at length about Bucky was a treat. I really, really enjoy like her contributions to narrative. I don't think she's a magician and can like, you know, make it's really an impossible task to make this ongoing narrative make sense within the confines of like 0 budget cutscenes and you know what I mean? Like like we're sort of stuck in this status quo.
But that being said, I mean, we did get. I was extremely surprised to see that we did get cutscenes with Bucky's story mission. I was only expecting audio files, and when I saw the cutscenes, I was like, "Oh my god, they actually did it!" It was like more like what we got with Spidey, which is great. If they could do that every time, hey, I'd be happy.
That I think is on the table.
Okay.
I think the next character we get, I think it's very much going to be in line with that.
It's perfect.
But are we going to see like a future imperfect taking?
No, they won't. No, they've already said that it's not. It's not lucrative enough.
I think even like a cloning lab situation alongside a character drop, I think even that ship has sailed.
Except they totally messed that one up because basically cloning lab is a prelude to Bucky's arrival, and it's stuck behind a power level wall that's almost impossible to reach for most of the player base. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I really sympathize with that point, but like when his like introduction at the end of that is like, is that huh? And then like the end, like
yeah, but we know it's
no, but you know what I mean? It's like imagine if you said like, oh, you know, what's a good example? Like a Marvel movie ends, right? And then like Iron Man comes back and he's like, hey, you know, just hi. And then it's like, well, I can't watch the next thing with Iron Man in it. I didn't see that one. He shows up in it. I don't understand it. It's like, well, no, you do, because there's nothing in that to make you understand it. It doesn't actually contribute to that in any way. So you kind of didn't miss much.
I'm a little like curious about the reason that was even like Bucky was even shown at the end anyway. Did like MODOK pull her down a TV like that and be like, "Here's your friend"?
Like, where was that too? Like,
like exactly.
Because
Jarvis
is like, you're gonna want to see this, and it's like, was that in the room the whole time? Like.
Well, how did Jarvis know to look there after all this time?
Yeah. What are you doing, Jarvis?
Yeah,
Get your
exactly.
shit together.
Sus.
All right. Then next question. Oh, yeah, that's a loaded one. Kenshiro-san wants to know, will we get War Machine? I know that a lot of people have been hoping to get War Machine, but I also have a feeling that a lot of people would be like, well, it's an Iron Man clone. We want a real character. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't think we're going to get a character that won't make them say that. So I
Yeah.
think that's already a given.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think War Machine would be a cool choice. I don't know. Why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And finally, Avengers Boy wants to know, do you still think Captain Marvel is coming?
God, I hope so.
We
Like,
all hope so. We all hope so.
you know, I mean, if we're looking at like goodbye Avengers,
Yeah.
like it's sort of to have Captain Marvel like delivering on the promise of the campaign, and not to mention this was, you know, this was Miss Marvel's big game debut. You know, this is a big
That's right.
element
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that
yeah,
character's
absolutely.
history,
Yeah.
and to not be able to have her interact with Carol in this space would be such a disappointment.
It would.
You know what I mean?
I got a
So if-
question real quick on this,
Oh.
Miller, while we're talking. Miller. Have you ever, while you were looking, seen any work that was done on Carol Danvers?
The tiniest bit, but like they're very good at, I mean, well, okay, they have strict policies for like hashing stuff so that it doesn't slip into the public client, right? So whenever something slips, it's like a oopsie, you know what I mean? Like I don't have from a data mining perspective a clear look at like what is getting made. It just doesn't work like that. But has a little something slipped for Carol? Yes.
All right, so that's about it for Twitter. So yeah, if anyone in the chat has any questions for the panel, let's get it.
Do you have any questions written down that you want to ask yourself, Miss Alien?
Nope, not.
Okay.
Not for now. Well, okay. What did everyone think of Bucky? Like, that's what I want to know.
Good question. Miller, have you played with Bucky yet?
Me? Oh, okay.
Miller.
Yeah.
I haven't, but I think he looks good. I don't know, what little anecdotes do I have. I thought it was fun when like 3 or 4 months ago or something, I said like, oh, actually it might have been like 5 or 6 months ago, I said like Bucky's rifle, like it kind of like has like the ability to, I didn't say it like in a sense to mean it like transforms into other weapons or something. I was just kind of talking about attachments and stuff. But then that like people that got broken telephoned into like, oh, it can like turn into this weapon, like that guy from Suicide Squad, like I think it's like Deadshot, right? This guy from Suicide Squad and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's not what I meant. And I was kind of freaking out, right? I'm like, I'm gonna get dragged for that. But then Hunter on the war table said it exactly like I said it.
Wow.
And it was like, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Like, that's not my problem anymore. Thank God.
Yeah.
But nobody ever really picked up on it. I loved that personally. So big fan of Bucky, if that wasn't clear. Big fan.
Now, Doom, I want to know what you think, because you haven't really
had to answer any questions.
Yeah, it's your turn. You're on the spot now.
Okay. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. If you like Black Widow and you like Captain America, you will love Bucky Barnes. He is literally a mix of what those two characters are, at least to me, but stronger. It's like, he's way strong. Like he almost took Hawkeye's spot as the strongest Avenger in the game, and neither one of them have power. Well, Bucky has powers. If you like Captain America, but you think he's slow, you like Black Widow, but don't think she's strong, definitely play with Bucky Barnes, because you're going to get the best of both, literally the best of both worlds. They took the best of Captain America and the best of Black Widow and made a hero out of him.
And the best of Black Panther too, like his
his intrinsic move is
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the jump in the hit. Yeah.
Yes.
So you're right. Dang, he's like actually the best of three characters rolled into one, and
Right.
I actually don't mind it because he still feels fresh. Like
Thank you. Exactly.
I
Thank
don't
you.
mind it. It's pretty. He's a good rollout for me. I mean, like the only sucky thing about what they're doing is they're negating their former characters. Because with the addition of Bucky Barnes, I don't ever see myself needing to play with Black Widow or Captain America ever again because I can play with.
Shame on you!
I'm just saying, with the addition of Jane Foster, honestly, I
But
don't
it
ever have to
depends-
play with Thor Odinson again because
Yeah,
she's the better version.
It depends on how you play with Widow. I'm telling you, because I'm not. There's no way I'm going to abandon Widow for Bucky because I play Widow much more melee than range, whereas I will play
Bucky's
Bucky
melee
range.
is nasty though.
But
Like
you're thinking in solo play, not group play. I think we're gonna, especially for the melee characters. I think with the new Clone Lab stuff, I think seeing a Widow Bucky combo is going to be super nasty, especially when they can just
I didn't
bounce
even
back and
think
forth.
about that. I didn't even think about that. And with cloning labs, it's not even like a flying thing, so you could actually run your tactical teams through that. Just think about, think about that team. Not Captain America, but
Dude,
Hawkeye.
throw
No,
Cap
I
in
would
there
go
'cause-
Hawkeye. I would go Hawkeye, Kate
Bucky.
Bishop, Widow, and
Yeah.
Bucky, and
Yeah.
like
Oh
really
my
Rick
God.
Shotman there. Like think about that. Look,
would be
Vader's
awesome.
really thinking like, oh my god, I didn't.
Well, I
think
was
about
saying
that
you throw Cap in there. You throw Crap in there for Mark of Assassination, paired
Mm.
with Brooklyn Brawler. So you're just generating a ton of heroic orbs for your Widow
Mhm.
and Bucky to make everybody stay invisible.
Or Hulk, or you're bringing a Hulk with the.
Or
the
you bring
orb.
a Hulk in there. Like
Jesus.
you just feed Hulk all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then watching Lejeune do some of the melee damage that Bucky's doing, like I'm just imagining, like, okay, so I'm building support. I love support. I love building everything support. So I'm trying right now to figure out how to make my Black Panther apply all three of the nanites to any of the melee characters, and just keep those constantly going. So there's always Gamma, always Plasma, always Cryo being laid down by the rest of my melee team. I'm excited for it. I want it. And then I've got Black Panther to heal and sort of apply a little bit more of those buffs. And then Jarvis Barrier, like what they did with Jarvis Barrier, that rework, seriously was not expecting that. That was out of the blue. That ISO changes the whole Jarvis Barrier game, especially for melee characters.
What does it do?
So, okay, Jarvis Barrier, you put it on, and you know that Jarvis Barrier helps prevent stagger and stuff because they have to get through the shield. You've got your own little overshield. There's an ISO out there now that, instead of Jarvis Barrier being like 60 seconds long, it's shortened. I don't know what the shortened time is, but Alex is working on fixing the perk, the description, because it says perk %, but it increases your melee crit chance while the Jarvis Barrier is up, and then you can pop your heroic assault, and it turns into a 30% damage buff for 10 seconds. It consumes your Jarvis Barrier, and you get a 30% damage buff. And then if you can pop the Jarvis Barrier again, then you've got the crit plus a 30% damage buff, and it stacks with all the other damage buffs.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Damn. But let's keep this popping.
Yes.
Johnny Rocker, how you
have you played
with
Bucky?
I haven't, but I've watched a lot of Bucky. I've been watching you guys play Bucky, and the best thing that I can say about it, I feel like Fate Walker's already kind of read my mind. It makes the science part of my brain go. Right? Like I'm thinking about all these things I can do with Bucky. I see the new gear, and I've very much been thinking about my melee Iron Man, right? Really been thinking about that. Like I could really go ape shit with that. And for me, it comes down to one thing, man. Like you talked about a question earlier about how do we get the live service refresh? How do we get people going again? I stick to the same answer I've been saying for a year. Turn the fun switch on, right? The one thing you can do that requires no extra development, right? Turn some knobs, recode, you're done in an hour. Get rid of time gating across the board, right? And anything in the game that awards an exotic has power level attached to it, right? So if you want people to get that last 10 levels in Cloning Lab, everything else should take you right up to 175. It shouldn't just be OLT in the raid, right? Go back to giving players the freedom to play the game however they want to, with whoever they want to.
We just
And
had
would
this
bring
issue
so many people
yesterday. Back. Was that yesterday, William? We had that issue with Omar, where we literally spent an hour or so in the raid.
Yeah, he got 3 pieces, and it didn't get him to 175.
Oh,
right,
wow.
And he was at 173. Right. The raid should at least give you 2 pieces that'll bump you up to the next level, and it didn't. It just gave him the same shit.
And I'm like, well, you need to do the event to go ahead and get to 175. And the event was like the Red Room or something.
300 enemies. Ain't nobody got time for
850 enemies. And 300 needs to go into the tech lava. He said, well, you know what? I'll see y'all in a week for reset.
I'll reset. Bye.
Yeah. Cut the game off, and that was a wrap. Like, they literally are losing. People want to play their game. Ambassador Spring last week couldn't play couldn't level up to get to the cloning labs. They was trying to get to cloning labs. Same issue, went and ran OLTs and in raids and got to a certain level. To get to the next level just took too much time. They was like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this either. So like they're literally losing players because they won't turn on the fun switch. That's crazy to me. But anyway, Faye Walker, go ahead, bro.
Is it 9 weeks? 9 weeks to go from 175 to 185 and 150 to 175. 9 weeks each, without triple events.
Nice. Start us. Play Bucky.
Dumb.
I tweeted you, Doom, the ISO.
So I guess I have to be the hater here.
It's okay. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it.
I mean,
okay.
No. So what it was that, like, okay. So in a game like this, where it takes a long time for characters to release, right? It's not Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where it's stacked. I understand different games, right? But there are a lot of characters in games like that, right? I can forgive similarities between the 4 spider characters in MUA 3 because they are literally Spider-Verse characters. I expect them to swing from webs, you know what I'm saying? Shoot some webs and stuff. But when, Bucky was in the list of characters all the way back at launch, and you're getting him now, and it's like, damn, this feels like, if I wanted to play as Cap, I'll go play as Cap. If I wanted to play as Widow, I'll go play as Widow. Like, it feels to me like Jane and Bucky, besides the knife and stuff, and besides the small little tidbits that make it known that is Bucky Barnes, they feel like the hero updates we should have always gotten put into new characters instead. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, and I just kind of, so I got him to power level 40 and I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I just,
fair enough.
And I've watched like, Lejeune plays Bucky and stuff, so I know what it looks like when you get him up there, and it's still not like, for me, no, I'm good. No more. Like, until if I hear one more war table be like, well, they are related to this character, so and they trained with them, so there's a very good chance that they're gonna have the same moves and take inspiration. I'm sorry, but if the She-Hulk war table starts with, yeah, this is Bruce's cousin, so they've obviously trained together, so they're gonna have very similar moves. Shut up, bro. Just give me a unique character. Like, stop with your excuses.
Have you not been on this podcast for the last 2 hours, Stardust?
I know, bro. I know, but like, they did it with Jane. They did the same thing with Jane. They've done it with Bucky. Like, cool. What, is he not his own person?
How Spider-Man and Black Panther actually share moves and stuff, dude. It's kind of crazy, bro. Like,
they trained together.
Yes, they did.
It's like Black Panther and Spider-Man apparently trained together. That's crazy. That Spider-Man trying to get in with Sherry, and Black Panther's like, let me teach you a lesson real quick. Let's go do some training. Nothing bad will happen, I promise. No, but like, it's just, it's so annoying to me, like, to see that, because it's just say you couldn't, just say you didn't have time or the resources.
They can't. They never will admit that. Like, it's
I know,
crazy.
but it's such a red flag for me. Like, okay, so if Captain Marvel comes out, right, and they say, yeah, her and Tony go way back. So she puts her hand out like this. It almost looks like repulsors, She sort of learned how to fly like Iron Man for some reason and all that, even though she obviously did stuff before Iron Man. I'm gonna flip my laptop over.
You don't think that her unibeam, his unibeam and her cosmic beam is not gonna look exactly the same, bro? You don't expect for her, to literally
the little the star on the chest,
yes,
come up like that, and like a cosmic. Oh, that's pain.
That's exactly what's
that's
going.
agony.
The Joe about to lose it down there, bro.
You don't expect Reed Richards to embiggen?
Oh, like, and this is the thing, like with Kate and Hawkeye back in the day, right? It makes sense. It's the same thing as I mentioned with the Spider People in MUA3. I get it. Both very similar, but they made them different enough. I embrace that, right? I embrace that. But when it comes to anything after that, that's when I'm kind of like, all right, guys, right, chill out now. All right, you relax yourself, right? Like, so like, why doesn't Cap use any of Bucky's moves, or why doesn't Widow fight like Bucky?
Why doesn't Bucky have his own moves?
Why isn't Bucky's own person? Like, why is he a follower like that? Like this dude's been under like
this man called
Winter Soldier stuff for ages. How does he even remember that style of training instead of his Winter Soldier training where he's grabbing necks like that? Like, I want to see more aggression from this man. Where's his metal arm choke slamming falls? Not a takedown
I gotta
either.
take. I gotta take down.
There you go.
Yes,
cleared my tracks right up.
Uses metal arm very well. Thank you very much.
So, chat, at this point in this round of questioning, who expected Johnny frickin' Rocker to be the most positive?
I was positive about Bucky, man.
Yeah.
You know the combo finisher where, like, so normally for Cap, you jump in the air, throw the shield down, catch you with the other, slam it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bucky does that with the grenade. I rolled my eyes, bro. It's a grenade. Just throw it.
But the worst copy paste move is when Bucky starts sprinting and he's got his arm like this as if he was holding a shield. I'm like, damn.
One of the things
right?
I can't stand about the parry, right, is that he's got a metal arm, right? That's his source of protection, very smaller than a shield. So you would imagine he would sort of have almost like a boxing stance to keep himself protected, use the arm, keep it in front of him. So why does he parry and just and make himself so, like, if he's being shot multiple times, why does one bullet make him do where the other bullet's going? He'll be dead. Where did he learn his training from? How is this man a soldier?
All right. Yeah, Lejeune, I want to know your opinion.
We've seen you killing it, bro. So go ahead and tell us about Mr. Bucky, though.
Y'all get me, huh?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Bucky is. The only thing I really use with him is his assault rifle. I like that. I like his assault rifle.
Oh my God.
You can still see the Captain America in it, and Black Widow. It's there. It's obvious, 100% obvious. But I think it's a little bit enough. Not a lot at all. But it's a little bit enough to see that they did a little something. But like he still got the heavy combo finisher. When he activated his ultimate, you could hear the shield, his sound effect.
Lejeune's talking about Bucky like a child's brought like a picture home from school that looks absolutely awful. But he's like, we'll put it on the fridge, darling. Don't worry. Like, you've done enough.
Lejeune made a point, though. The two things that are unique that nobody else has, that full auto AR and the burst, are the most fun because it's unique.
Yeah.
But wait.
Full auto. Black Widow got the
full auto Black Widow.
But it kind of sucks.
No.
But here's the thing:
those full auto are awful. Like, they're
the gun
damn
is
awful.
not
Goddamn
unique.
awful.
It's the same animation from the AIM soldiers. Why has nobody pointed that out?
Well, of course it's going to be from the AIM soldiers. Remember, AIM had Bucky,
right? They train together.
Hey, Walker, you've earned your spot in the middle, sir, for that comeback.
Okay. Let me get off my spot. Why the heck, if they all grab each other's ideas, why the heck do all the bombs lob? Can Tony not help them out?
Man.
Can Tony please not help them out with some kind of missile tech? Why?
I can answer that. Let
Very
me
good
put
point.
myself in the middle. Hold on. Let me put myself in the middle of the shield,
Okay.
the shield spot. Let me get in the shield spot. Remember, guys, Tony is flat broke right now. The suits that he's working with are scraps. Even though we get like the brand new MCU suit, we've got the AI Tony suit, we've got all of these new suits, but that's just what we paid for with our own money.
For him.
In game, Tony broke as hell. Tony got like $5 in his pocket. He even stole that sandwich out the fridge, and Bucky looking for him right now. You know what I mean? Like it's. So I'm gonna sit in Shield Central for a minute, and we're gonna ask Harder Gamer his thoughts on Bucky Barnes.
I put in about 4 hours with Bucky. I like him a lot. So the important thing to keep in mind is, yes, Widow has the full auto, but they're like pistols. Their range is relatively low, and it just feels like they're not that powerful. The full auto assault rifle feels powerful. It felt like I was playing a shooter, but I was focusing on building that up. Also, it's very easy to switch between that and the thing that lobs the grenades. I guess it's a shotgun. That I like a lot, and it's better than Kate's exploding arrow. It's easier to aim it. It's very fast. Like you can shoot a lot of them out relatively quickly. I like him very much as ranged. So Bucky is going to be ranged for me. But one thing I don't like about Bucky is I don't like his initial outfit because it reminded me of like Bucky at January 6th. I was like, what is with this outfit?
I would like to.
Don't you start us?
He didn't even have
God.
We know
God.
who.
If y'all
We know
are
who
in those of you in the Avengers RoundTable chat know exactly what he was about to say just now. That's why I had to cut him off. But
Maga soldier.
So I had to break down and get that $22 pack because I needed to have the actual MCU outfit for him. So he's got the goggles, he's got the mask.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Did you just say you spent money on Marvel's Avengers in 2022?
I did.
Give him the shock.
Oh!
The timing on that. Whoa. Everyone take a minute.
Singing back, thank you.
I'm sure I'm not the only one here who has in the entire year.
I brought.
Hold on. Who else has? Go ahead and point yourself out so I can remove you real quick.
Do not.
removing me. Well, Dim, it was a pleasure being on here. I know you've got to remove me here. I very much enjoy Cell Shaded Cap.
Oh, that
didn't you get that for free from the Illuminati group?
No, I paid for that.
That's an L right there, bro. Take your advantages. What are you talking about?
Miller, you better
using
not.
his power again.
Miller.
Hey, I bought Schmeat Thor, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Well, that was different for y'all who are. That's different because I know a lot of people who bought the widow skin. So I feel y'all. I feel y'all on that. I'm gonna respect that.
It's true.
I'm
I'm
gonna
a little
respect
fruity. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Wait. I forgot Faye Walker. We gotta bring Faye back.
Damn.
Faye was just chilling in the backstage. Like, damn, no.
Faye, did you buy Black Widow cheats? Because if so, you're exempt from this, apparently, all right? If you bought anything involving skin, literal skin, you're all right.
Okay.
I got that one, too.
So did I. I got all
and
the
Thor
outfits.
in the bathing suit or whatever it was.
Yes.
Don't worry, Doom. I didn't let the horny control my purchases.
Oh no, they ain't getting my loot. They don't want to bring me in the Avengers group and give me scans for free. Y'all ain't getting my money either. Damn it. Babe, bro, did you play with Buck? I know you don't really like the dude characters too much.
No, I played. I got him to level 15. I played with him.
What did you think?
My God.
It's you know what it is. I don't
Love
know
Power
if
Mad,
it, all
chat.
right. No. I'm gonna be completely transparent. Even when I play with Obliminal and everything, why does this game feel so heavy? Like it's like even loading it up, it's like like the character's moving and it's like I feel like I'm made of pudding and it's just so
Because it's
I'm
not
playing
on.
with
You
him.
play game. A lot of
You're not
the
playing
games you
Fortnite
play.
here. You're playing
Yeah, a lot of
Avengers.
the
No,
games you play
no,
seriously are on Unreal
No.
Engine 5. A
no,
lot of the
yeah,
games you play are on that
but
Unreal Engine.
and aside from that, I have a lot of other games, and a lot of other games keep coming out, and Avengers becomes more and more obsolete because you start to realize, like, is this 2018? This engine is not giving. There's something like Fortnite just trended for updating to Unreal Engine 5.1. Like the fucking flowers have shadows. Like, what are you people doing? Like, what is going? Like, the grass literally has reflections in the water. Like, what is? What? Whose bright idea?
I can't.
No, like
It's on Unreal 4.
I'm just confused. So I played with him. I enjoyed it, but it's almost like I don't know which one of you guys said it. I think it was Stardust, where he was like, I can expect I can very much see Captain Marvel being Iron Man and Hulk together. Like her having a good melee and a good range. I could see that, but at what? So what? Who cares? By that time, will it matter? Like,
Ooh.
will Spider-Man 2 be out? Like,
Ooh.
this is what I'm keeping in my head
Suicide
because you
Squad.
can't. Yeah, and exactly. And there's so much to like Harry Potter for spoken. There's so many games that are coming that are just aiming for the jugular. Like I was looking at the customization in Hogwarts Legacy, and it's like black people have never looked more beautiful. Like not you gave us all those cornrows and those beautiful styles. What are y'all doing? Like what?
Bruh.
So I played with Bucky and his Christopher Columbus pumpkin doobie, and walked around for a bit. Got his iconic outfit. Glad I didn't have to do the Tundra Hive with him because I didn't even make it to the power level to where I need to. Unlocked him to 50, got all his abilities. Interesting take. Will I ever touch the character again? He will never. He will get gear when if I do stuff with events and the character automatically gets exotics, that's how he'll get leveled up. I'm not touching him. It was whack.
Damn. Miller, Sadat has a question for you. Was work ever done on Strange or Wanda?
There's like ideas and concepts and art floating around, but like, is there like a prototype or anything? Not as far as I know. Like, don't get me wrong. There's like, I'm sure cool art and like an interesting design document that, yeah, like they had cool ideas, and there's like probably narrative ideas as well.
If dropping the ball was a game, right?
I gotta be honest, looking at like the power scaling in this game, them making a character, and this is what I'm worried about with Captain Marvel as well, actually feel powerful. I don't.
Jane is strong, bro.
No,
Jane feels
So I mean, okay, so I'll give it a bit of an example, and yeah, all right, I am a bit biased at the moment because I am proper shilling that Midnight Suns, right? But like. For a tactical game, Captain Marvel still feels incredibly powerful, right? Like it's she can pretty much do it all on her own, really, if you wanted to. It's like a cheat code.
I noticed that every team that I've seen played has a Captain Marvel on their team. Everybody.
She's insane, bro. Like if you struggle with a mission, sorry, we're getting on a tangent, but she's great. So if anyone in chat's playing and you're like struggling on a mission, Captain Marvel. But anyway, it's just something that I've just kind of been feeling a little bit like, I don't know. Playing Avengers, like, yeah, Thor does feel good to play. The Hulk and Jane and these strong characters do feel good to play, but I don't know if it's ever been a case of like, unless you're like Lejeune with psycho builds, like if I feel like I'm actually powerful with these characters, right? And then it comes to like, and then it's kind of when Hawkeye can like out DPS like the Hulk, it kind of feels like it's not really a a game about the Marvel characters themselves. It's about like the move set that they've given. Who got lucky? Do you know what I mean? Who got lucky and got represented better than the other characters? And that's kind of my problem.
Well, that's what's going to keep happening too, though. The more characters they build, the better they're going to be because they already have a base to work off. And the Poly and them team was vicious, dude. I mean, they hit them with that God of War combat system, and it's a beautiful thing. But another question for you, Mr. Miller, from Bucky Barnes says, when should we expect to see Join in Progress in patrol mode?
I hope next year.
2023. Okay. All right.
Heavy on the hope. On the hope part.
I think that's it as far as questions is concerned. Unless y'all see some that I'm missing.
Can I ask Miller a question?
Go ahead.
Okay. Miller, I'm just wondering, do you know if they've been working on, or is there a chance of any new events? Because I like the events. I think they're pretty cool. I enjoy playing them. Any chance of any new ones?
Not as far as I know, but I've never I've never asked, but I haven't seen any evidence to suggest. And I did manage to, from a data mining perspective, spot each of them before they happened.
If you get a chance to ask, can you ask why there's an extra intelligence file for it?
Sure.
Right now, if you go to the codex right now, it's 506.
There's one missing. Yeah.
When did that come? When did that release? The sixth one.
For months. That's been like that.
It's been out there. It's been out there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can tell me what patch it's in, I can figure it out.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Any more questions that you have, Alien, for anybody on the panel or whatnot? And if not, we can move to the next segment and get this wrapped up.
Can I?
Yes,
Go
ahead, Johnny.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Alan.
Go ahead, John.
I like to throw out a challenge to the devs. I do know we got a couple eyeballs on this right now. If you get my boy Doom Killer or my boy Pewter Odin into that Illuminati where they deserve to be, I will start streaming Avengers again ASAP.
Boy, nah, you ain't got to do that on my account, bro. Like,
you heard that.
No,
I'm a man of my word. I will back it up.
We need to start a Twitter campaign for those two.
That's
right.
We need to do that.
I feel like they don't deserve Doom, to be honest. Damn it.
You're not wrong, but
Wow.
And I also got to say, Babe Bro wearing the Metallica hoodie, bringing that metal energy. I loved it. I love it.
That's my people.
I love it.
All right, let's take one more quick break. Then we're going to get into some more, I guess, questions from the chat, and then just actually some cool stuff I got lined up for us. It's not a lot. It's not a lot at all, but check this out.
What's shaking, people? It's your girl Spring. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and share the video. It's an easy way to help the squad grow and give you more fire content, shows, and events. This is your DSG brand ambassador Spring, and you know the motto, let the good times roll.
If you have not, again, I repeat, if you have not hit that like button, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell. That way you never miss an upload episode or shit like this, man. I mean, when have you ever seen Alien Fire, Miller, Fate Walker, Johnny Rocker, Stardust, Lejeune, Babe Bro, Hoarder Gamer all on the same podcast before? That's some crazy shit right there to me. And I'm on a podcast with them, and I'm freaking out right now. So, all right, let me get myself here. We're gonna bring Alien here. We're gonna put Miller on the bottom. We're gonna put Fate Walker in his comfy spot in the middle.
I used to be the center because you're the middle of the Brady Bunch here.
No, I'm hiding on it.
It's a story of a man named Doom.
Who had a podcast with Alien as co-host.
Alien Fire.
Yes.
And all your years playing Avengers, lady.
Yes.
If you could change one thing about the game, be it development, be it gameplay, be it heroes, be it whatever that you had the power to change, what would that one thing be?
The engine it was built on. That's it. This is what's been holding the game back in so many ways for so many reasons. And yeah, the engine.
Babe, bro, if you could change one thing about event, stop eating chips because it's loud.
Yes.
It's loud.
Sorry, this is so good. Look. All right, go ahead.
If you could change one thing about Avengers, be it whatever, what would it be? One thing.
I would have dropped all the last gen support. I would have forgot all about PS4. I would have did exactly what Gotham Knights did. Well, we'll be there when y'all able to buy one. Okay. Not everybody got to be greedy because we're talking about the Unreal Engine. But to be honest, like, do we really want Unreal Engine 5 on a PS4 so it could sound like Barry White singing Secret Garden? Like, we're not trying to do that. So they should have dropped last gen, pushed the game back, and you know what? If they would have pushed the game back, Kate and Clint would have dropped when the show dropped.
Okay.
And Kate would have dropped in November, along with Clint on the show. Everything would have been cohesive, along, with everything. Kamala would have got more shine because she was already on the show. And the show was in talks and like stuff like that would have. Kamala wouldn't have received. I remember when this game was first announced, they dragged Kamala through the mud. Like everybody was like, "Who's this? Why is she the protagonist? Like, why? And a girl? Who is she? Like nobody. She wasn't received very well. Like the character from the comments that I was reading. So it would have been nice had it took its time and not worked with an engine that's completely outdated. And then now you're limiting us to so much stuff, and then you got people like me who are just like in the comments like, can we get content? And I have to deal with the shills and curse you out from here to Anaheim, then I'm the bad guy. Like, just for saying that, can we get content? It's been 2 years.
Johnny Rocker, if you could change one thing about Avengers, what would it be, good sir?
It would be give us back the freedom that we had before that god-awful bullshit raid, right? When I could enjoy the friends or enjoy the game with my friends, playing any mode that I want to, and I could go all the way to power cap having fun. I guarantee you, if you would do that, so much of your player base would come back. Period.
Faye Walker, what would it be?
I have two, but I'm trying to figure out the best of the two. I think, either one would have been good. I think having Alex be head of gear upon conception that they're going into a multiplayer, so he could design the gear from the base instead of what they had him doing when they started.
Okay. Slice Stardust, what one thing would you change, bro?
So I would have had this game be delayed until they actually knew exactly what they wanted to do with it, because the original idea that Miller mentioned a while back, like the super adaptoid and the campaign and Thor and shaving his head and all that stuff, like the OG idea and stuff, I quite like that. And I feel like all they needed was a bit more time to not panic and go, oh no, everyone hates it, we haven't got long, quick, get rid of it. You know what I mean? And then they could have also spent some time actually building content after the main campaign, so they weren't they weren't catching up. They weren't playing catch up for so long after launch, where the momentum just died. It was never the same after that. So if they could delay it long enough where they were able to release a campaign, have at least 2 pieces of content, the big piece, the operations, pretty much almost ready to go, I think that would have been fantastic. I think the game would have come out a lot better. I think that obviously I know the bugs and stuff, but that wouldn't have been a big of an issue if the game was heavily delayed. I think a lot of the game's problems come from it releasing way too early. I would have even given it another year. Obviously, it's easy to say that with a bit of foresight, because at the time I'm like, no, I want it now, because I shill, back in the day. But now I absolutely would have rather it had been delayed, to be honest.
Porter Gamer, one thing.
I agree with Babe Bro, actually. I think the biggest thing that has hampered this game since the very beginning is sadly that it was current gen when it launched at the time that was current. It should have just been next gen only, and it should have been a launch title like right in November, everyone excited to get their new consoles, and then there's Marvel's Avengers with it. And like Bro said, Kate would have been out right around that same time. It would have worked a lot better.
But this is all nice and well with dropping the old gen, but do you guys forget that COVID happened and that it was like almost it was ridiculously hard to get a PS5 for a long time?
I understand completely. So like
COVID
even the idea of
happened, and
pushing it
every
back
other-
to
with all
2021
due
might have been
respect,
viable.
COVID happened and everybody else coped. There were other games. Avengers, that excuse, it's given very much.
Excuse me, so you know games that came out like
a lot of other games came out. Cyberpunk was
just
one of
for the new gen.
No,
during
no,
COVID?
not just for
No,
the new
she
gen.
said
What I'm
for the
saying is,
COVID
No, but
is an
what I'm saying is-
excuse. I got what you're saying. What
I
he's
would've
saying
took
is
an L
COVID
and
is an
pushed it back.
excuse for Avengers being a bag rollout or whatnot
No.
when other games don't use that as an excuse.
No, sorry, I'm talking to my cat. She's being a pain. I'm like, shush.
Nah, but I mean, I hear you.
The
I hear
rarity
both
of
of
the
y'all on that.
PS5 was not, it was real. Like, this is not an excuse.
But to me,
No,
I think
no,
that
I'm not- I'm
that
just
is
saying
more of a
it's the
reason it
cop-out.
should have been delayed because of
Exactly.
COVID. It should have been
Oh,
delayed.
yeah,
even
delayed,
longer.
yes. Delayed, yes. Yes.
Because then all we heard for a whole year was, "Oh my God, we can't touch the offices, and we're not going to risk our lives to work on your game after you don't took my $90, sis. What's going on?" So I'm trying to see where's because I'm sympathetic. I get it, but again, a lot of us, I don't know what y'all come from. The people that come from playing Marvel's Avengers, Marvel Heroes, they're like this. Because a lot of those people that played that game came to this game in hopes of looking for another game where we could all play as our favorite superheroes in some sort of world or, some sort. A lot of those people came from over there. Then Brian came along now, and now look, and now we're on the same boat.
Stop. Yo, Miller, if there is one thing you could change about Marvel's Avengers, what would it be, boss?
It's like a tight race between two things. The first is definitely, I got to agree with Fate Walker, like from the chat, definitely the monetization strategy. Like anchoring this to like free content updates when they did, that's all well and good if the game is a massive smash hit and everyone's playing it. And then you've got the kind of volume of sales that you can support that. But the game flopped. Like it did not hit the numbers that they needed it to right out the bat. So then you're stuck. You're immediately stuck because you aren't getting in the income to justify the spending that you need to put in for these free content updates that draw in new players. The entire monetization breaks immediately at that point, and they've never recovered from that. The second thing would be just stick to the plan. Like ride out what you had planned up through Captain Marvel and let it be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? Like as soon as we started with the red pen on the plan is when it started getting really sloppy. You know what I mean? And to the point that it's just genuinely like, and I don't mean to sound cruel because I get it. Nobody chose this, but it's to a point where it's like embarrassing for the people that worked on it. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to have worked on Marvel's Avengers if the game ended like last year, you know what I mean? Like the industry said like it had a lot going for it. It was but there was XYZ and it never lived up to its expectations. This year is just like it's giving incompetence, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's not that anybody that's working on it is incompetent. It's just that there's like they're basically modding it at this point, you know what I mean? It's like a couple people playing around with the tools and that's it. Like you're not creating anything that is doing anyone any favors, unfortunately.
That
You
part.
know, to me, I think the plan was flawed. Yes, absolutely, but it's better than this, and that we put some work in that direction. So I think it's time we see it through.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they say that they were trying to do something like Destiny or follow the Destiny route with the
Well, the
missions? I
game was
remember reading that.
basically conceived as like Marvel Destiny. Like they literally stole its user interface for a reason. Like it, but I mean, it was never going to be Destiny because it never had the budget of Destiny. It
How do you have a Marvel game with no budget? That makes no sense.
The budget went into the voice actors. One thing I can say is the actors they plucked are very Grey's Anatomy, and this one is Kratos, and this one is Hondo. The budget must have went to the voice actors because
keep in mind to make Destiny, like to make Marvel's Destiny, that's going to cost more than Destiny did because if it's one thing if you own the IP, it's another thing completely to have licensing fees on top of that. You know what I mean? Very expensive ones for the like biggest IP in modern entertainment history. You know what I mean? Like it's expensive, and we can talk all about how much the game lost, but like a lot of that money was spent and just dumped into a toilet. You know what I mean? Like but really, like do you think about all the like the brand, like the cross brand deals that they did with like
Party City,
like the gum and Party City, and you know what I mean? The only one of
Five
those that they
Gum,
pushed
Intel.
was Five Gum to this, and the Intel one. To this day, the Party City one is unannounced. The audiobook version of the prequel novel, they never said one peep about that on any of their socials. There's not a press release for it. There's nothing. Like, it's bizarre where some of the money went.
Oh, aren't they on the hard drives, the portable PlayStation hard drives? Don't they use the game to market that?
Oh yeah, I think that was part of the Intel thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It was like a little hard drive they got on GameStop.
I mean, they had a deal with Vizio. Like, who remembers the official HD TV of Marvel's Avengers? Raise your hand. Like, it's true.
Oh my god.
Vizio didn't even remember that.
Honestly, like, it's just weird because like all of that stuff like costs money to plan out, but there was nobody there even just writing a press release to hype it up and try and cash in on that to some extent. It just seemed like they pissed it away.
And did you see that
Hey.
that statue from Sideshow Collectibles of Iron Man from the game that sells for like what a few $1,000, I think.
Yeah, and didn't one of the I swear that got tweeted about in the context of like, when did that happen?
Pretty much. They didn't say anything about it. I found out about it like totally by accident from someone else, or it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah. I buy a Sideshow statue, so I saw it up there and I was like, ugh.
Alien Fire.
Yes.
What is your fondest memory of Marvel's Avengers? Be it a stream, be it the community, be it one time you were gaming with some of your friends. What is your fondest memory of Marvel's Avengers?
There's too many of them, honestly. But I would say, as a whole, like, it's the community. Like, everyone I've met, and the friends I've made, and the fun I've had with those friends. That has to be, my fondest memory overall. Definitely.
Big bro, fondest memory of Marvel's Avengers, be it a stream, be it the community, be it just somebody you met playing a game, whatever.
I would say when it was me, Boxley, and Obliminal, and one of the randoms got booted while we were fighting Claw. And it was like, you gotta go back there and remember when we played with Obliminal, he was like, his Kamala's OP, because Obliminal was literally bouncing back and forth, rezzing between the sides, and the reason I have that clip saved, like, I was fighting Claw by myself, like doing the damage by myself. That was my biggest memory of it. And when Lejeune's video leaked, where like the 3 million, when he did the clap, and then like 2 days later they nerfed it. So I remember that.
Johnny Rocker, fondest memories in Marvel's Avengers, bro.
It had to be launch day, man. Streaming the game, having all that fun, you know, do the lead up to the space shot. Like I said, being Tony Stark, listening to Iron Maiden, flying into fucking space is the most Johnny Rocker thing that has ever been in a video game. And like, I'm tearing up over that. We do the mission, we rescue Cap, and we're in the fields. And I said something really good about, it's like, man, that voice, it sounds like Cap. And he was in my chat. Said, thank you, man. And was like, what? And Cap had been hanging out watching, right?
I would have blushed so hard at that. That's crazy.
Yes, boy, that would have been, never mind. Anyway, Fate Walker, find his memory, bro.
I mean, outside of getting the chance to just do this with all you guys and all you people in chat, like to be a little bit unique from Alien, I would have to, and not just lean on the community thing, because I think that's probably the best thing for all of us. The moment I got obsessed with the storyline, because I found out that one of the Monicas had heterochromia in her eyes, and then realized that was a clone, and then having to go back through and scour everything that I could to figure out what was a clone and what wasn't, to eventually all of that to just be thrown out the window upon beating the odds. But up until that point, that was my fondest memory.
There's a lot of backhanded good memories here.
You got punched in the head for that memory, huh? Like, damn, son. It's like Stardust. Find this memory of. Oh, you've probably got a whole bunch of them, dude.
I do actually.
He's looking at. He's actually got a list. He's pulling up his list right now.
Yeah, hold on. Let me. So normally, and rightfully so, I do say the first Assemble for Charity, because I really like that was a real scary thing. 24 hours. Miller was involved in that, actually. Miller. Let's be honest. Miller was the one who brought the donos in. All right, let me just get out of the way. Miller was the cash cow.
No, my segment was kind of dead. I felt so guilty. I was like,
"What
oh my
do you
God.
mean it was dead, bro?" You were like,
I thought I could bring so much more. I felt guilty.
I wish I knew that at the time, because I would have been like, shut up. You brought so much money in, bro. Like, no, but besides that, because I do say that one a lot, because I've been asked this before, I think that one of them, he's not here, so I could talk nice about him, is so I was under 100 subscribers at the time, right? A good old Jonathan Assemble, right, the main man, put on Twitter that he wanted a he wanted to do a podcast, like, you know, like he does normally, but he wanted like a guest and stuff. And I didn't know Hyrule at all, like, besides a Twitch stream here and there, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to shoot my shot. You know, why not? You know, he's a bigger creator than me at the time. Yeah, at the time, this was business, and he knows that. And I was like, I sort of contacted him, and he was friends with Joe Abel from Murphy's Multiverse, right? He's like a writer who does a lot of that stuff, because he interviewed him before, and I'm friends with Joe as well. So we got in touch. And Hyrule was like, yeah, I mean, if Joe vouches for you, sure, let's do it. Yeah, obviously he watched my videos as well. He must have done, right? Because I could have been a psychopath. He's right. And then you know, we hadn't spoken verbally at all until the podcast day, right? So literally, we just got on the call. Hey, man, press record, right? And afterwards, I remember we spoke a little bit afterwards, and you know, like, that sort of that meme where the guy has like the phone to his chest and he's like, that was nice, you know. I've got a friend, and that was it then. And that was sort of the first. I feel like that was kind of, you know, I made a proper close mate then, and it was, you know, and I wouldn't have done that without the game and stuff, and you know, and then from Hyrule Spawn going into his community as well, and I've met Burst, ZG, Ethan. I've been able to talk to Miller a lot more. I mean, I would have anyway because of like the stuff you do, Doom, but I just feel like, you know, I was able to sort of get on, you know, with the people he knows, and then eventually, because he went on your stuff, Doom, and you saw me through that, I was able to then know you, which then turns into this, and it's a spiraling thing. But none of that, in my opinion, would have happened without Hyrule giving me a very big chance, because I think he was over 1,000 subscribers. I had just passed 50. He didn't even have to like talk to me, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, because what was I going to do? I am bringing views at 50 subscribers. Like, you mad? So, but he took a chance, and
Wait,
because of that, I got to meet so many people.
I just want to shout out, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I forgot
That's fine.
completely that's Zara. I have to shout out the voice of Jane Foster because I remember she donated. No, I did that cancer stream, and she donated like what $300, $400. So
$500
shout
or
out
something like that.
yeah, Zara Fazal.
It's
getting
Fuzzle.
money.
Yeah.
She's over there on Apex. She's getting money in a bunch of stuff, doing movie stuff. So shout out to her. That was really dope to see her show up to the stream and support the cancer stuff. So that's just sad. Sorry to cut you off.
Harder
I
Gamer.
like that one. I like that one, Sadat. That was definitely 11th.
Harder Gamer. Fondest memory in Marvel's Avengers.
Everyone's probably gonna laugh, but at first it sounded like it was just a campaign. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome! I look forward to playing these characters and everything." And then they were like, "Now we're gonna talk about the end game and the war zones," and it was like, "What are you talking about?" And then it was like, "Oh my God, this is an ongoing game where I get to play as Avengers, going into this world, grinding and stuff." And I was like, in my mind at that point, I was like, it's like Destiny with Marvel characters, and I was really hyped.
Okay. Miller. I'm so happy you're last for this question. Fondest memory of this godforsaken game that you have given us so much hope, so much. I mean, the community wouldn't even still be rocking if you wouldn't give us the hope that you gave us, bro. So, what is your fondest memory, my friend?
You saying that just now. No, I'm going way back to like September 2020.
Mhm.
I remember waking up one morning and like Paul Tassi had written an article about me, and it was like, what was it, like everything you want to know about Marvel's Avengers from this one Twitter user or something, and there was this one quote in it. Like I was reading, I'm like, what the hell? Like, is this real? And I was reading it, and it was like something like, you have to follow this guy Miller. And then, but I was like, wait a second. And I looked him up on Twitter, and like he didn't follow me. And I was like, what the hell? So I tweeted the quote with like and I attribute it to like Paul Tassi, who does not follow me. And it was like, it was so funny. And like, he ended up following me over it. And like, we've talked a bunch of times since then. But that article and like that whole day really, I think, like leveled me up for sure, and set the stage for everything that was to come for the next like 2 years. And I just can't remember. I'll never forget that feeling of like waking up to like a Forbes article about it. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yes, indeed. That's fire, bro. That is too fire. Now we're about to get to some real grit in about some things, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and do this real quick.
What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doom Killer HD. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. Put your hands together and rub slow. Do the Birdman, hands the Birdman. It's about to go down, act like you know. Do the Birdman, hands the Birdman. You know the motto, let the good times roll. Do the Birdman, hands the Birdman. Put your hands together and rub slow. Do the Birdman, hands the Birdman.
All right, good people. All right. So we've talked about fondest memories, things we could change about Marvel's Avengers, all the love for the community. And just to let y'all know, if y'all participate in this segment, which everybody is participating in, I don't give a shit. Everybody's participating in this. You are considered toxic by default. So welcome to Toxicville, people. Welcome to Toxicville.
I wear that badge with honor. I am not afraid.
What is your worst experience moment dealing with Marvel's Avengers? We starting with the Queen Alien Fire. Let's go.
First time I played with Iron Man, like the playing with Iron Man during the campaign, I think was it broke my heart because I couldn't do anything with him, but I was so excited about getting to play him because I love Tony in the MCU, but I was struggling so much, and I just wanted to cry, and I almost gave up on him. But yeah. So, but he was still the second character I brought to 175. So yeah.
Look at that! Look at that! Worst moment in Marvel's Avengers for you, babe, bro.
So many moments, so little time.
That's like a Vietnam flashback for everyone right there.
Like, I
Nigga really
literally-
just die on stream and come back to life thinking about this question, bro. Like, go ahead.
Yes, because I really can't. I can't. I'm being so like a
I
dead
believe
ass.
you.
Like, there's so many situations where I've been like,
Well,
why?
that's a good one for that. That's a good
Like
one.
even in Cloning Labs, there was a part in Cloning Labs where recently I was like, I went to go fly and it wouldn't let me. It was like a hidden force field or a bubble, and I was just like taking a detour back, and I'm just like, all right, let's reload checkpoint and wish for the best. Like the game should be called Marvel's Reload Checkpoint at this point to see if it works. If not, the next person, please.
Johnny Rocker, what you got for me, sir?
I know it's gonna sound like I'm dunking on them, but I mean it seriously broke my heart. Was the lying over the XP boosters, right? Because that everything up to that point for me, my future in streaming hinged on Marvel's Avengers, right? And I was really drinking that Kool-Aid. I was battling every hater there was to hate across Reddit. And when they did that, they lied. They wouldn't own up to it publicly, and then pretty much implied that everybody's job in that creator Discord was to fight the PR battle for them. That was why you got that 45-minute rant from me on stream that day, because I just felt so hurt, so let down. And the first thing I did was apologize to Reddit. And that really sucks because I had fought with a lot of those dudes. But it was like, I mean, I'm nothing if but honest, you know what I mean? And just that to me was the turning point from Avengers, and I could never look at it the same way again.
Damn. Fate Walker, Mr. Positivity, who is muted. Okay, he's unmuted now. He's ready. Mr. Positive.
It's gone.
He messing with me is what he's doing. Mr. Positivity, I know that I'm actually sorry that you have to be a part of this segment. I don't want you to be considered Mr. Toxic because you are a pillar of positivity along with Hoarder Gamer and people like Hero Mentor and things. Used to be Slight Stardust, but the fuck happened to him? Anyway,
shriveled, mate, grizzled.
I hate to ask you this, but I'm gonna need the answer, sir. Your worst moments dealing with Marvel's Avengers.
When they had to retire the roadmap.
That was a heartbreaking moment. That was what, January of 2022, right?
That hurt.
December of 2021 / January 2022. Yeah.
That was a big step for them to say that we can't stick to our commitments.
Y'all remember that last roadmap? It had patrol mode on it and things.
It was
like
beautiful.
That. It was nice. It was nice. Slight Stardust used to be the positive man who's turned into Kyle Jr. Manchester.
No.
Wow.
Slight Stardust slave.
Dexter's stepdad. No, right. So, I'll be honest. There are obviously there's loads. There's very obvious ones, right? Consumables, IP, all that stuff. But I'm going to go for one that's a bit more personal. All right. So, as we probably are very aware before, I am a big Spider-Man fan, right? And I was so excited for him to come to this game, right? I was drinking Kool-Aid. Moan about Xbox all you want, losers. I get to play as him. Who gives a fuck? Like, I didn't care. I was not involved in those conversations. Not fussed. Let me enjoy him. Do you know what I mean? I was in Miller's replies every time there was a leak. Yo, bro, new Spider-Man stuff. And he remembers. And so I was literally, I was such a fanboy. And the fact that it took our dicks out for Spider-Man, but one of the things that kind of when they revealed the roadmap and he was on it, right? And they showed the bare minute, showed his back. Do you know what I mean? That alone, I was hungry. All right, everyone. Let me tell you. So when they showed just a little bit of him, and it was his classic outfit, and I was like, okay, good. They didn't Marvel Avengers it. That's good. So now, by the way, their iconics are great, but you know what I mean. I was so excited. I was like, oh, I get to go in the raid, get to play Spider-Man with da-da-da-da. And then IGN happened. It's very early in the morning. Yep. We all know. Now, let me tell you, when they showed the heroics, I was gutted. I thought those are the most boring moves you could go for when there's so many Spider-Man games that have amazing combat. I understand it's not a Spider-Man game. I don't care. All right, it's not a Spider-Man game. I don't care. There is many situations to pull from, but it's drone, the web thing, and a web bomb. That's so boring, man. That's so boring. And his combat feels like slappy little wet punches. You feel like someone's got noodles and are just doing that, whipping someone. I hate it so much. And it's just and I've listened to Sean Chiplock be Spider-Man in the past, by the way. He did the one for Marvel on one of the little cartoon things. And he's great in that. His normal voice is fantastic as Peter Parker. So tell me why CD got a very talented voice actor and went, be so whiny that you become annoying.
It's the lines they wrote, bro. It's the lines they wrote.
And this is what I mean. This is why I cannot for the life of me blame Sean Chiplock. Because I know he can do it. I've heard it before.
He actually sounds good.
Exactly. I was when I begged you to let me on the stream, and
you fell asleep.
I did. No, that was my fault. It was my fault. And I came in late, and I was depressed watching. I was like, this man's normal voice is so good. Why did they not just let this man speak? Do you know what I mean? And I don't understand it, and it bugged me so much, and it just, and then when I saw the skin collection and it was 5 skins with 20 million recolors, this is Spider-Man. Do you know how much money you can make? Do you know how many skins this man's had?
Popular skin in the game still. Spider-Man is literally to this day a year old and it's still not in the game, bro. That's so crazy.
And I just, and when I started it actually got, I genuinely think that I've been talking about villain origin story. I think that was really when stuff sort of went, I was like, I can't believe they did that. Because the one thing you expect in Avengers is their character kits to be on fucking point. And that was my favorite character was the first one. I was like, they failed here. And that
it's they didn't know what to do with him. I'm so sorry. I love their character kits, but they did not know what to do with Spider-Man.
I said on a video a long time ago, and I got roasted for it, that I don't want to see Spider-Man use any gadgets, and I want to see him fight with his webs. I want to see him make web stuff, Shattered Dimensions style, right? Edge of Time, that sort of stuff. Because I think you could be super creative with that, and it's cool. Spider-Man couldn't even do status on bosses. They said use cryo. What a joke. Just make his webs work. Why is he so bad?
Use cryo.
Use
cryo.
The disrespect. I was actually in pain. And I just, so that was, that was brutal. That was bad.
What a gamer.
For me, it would have to be technical difficulties. Mostly, you try to load a mission and it would keep loading and loading, but never actually load the mission. Or it would be it drops everyone in your team, and just all these weird technical problems. And what broke me at one point was I was doing the Mega Hive. and literally every floor of the Mega Hive, we had to, like, at one point or another, reset the checkpoint. And it was like a comedy. Like, I was just like laughing, like it was so funny. And I was like, look how much time it's taking us to do this. And then, like, they don't even make it easy. If everyone's kicked out, sometimes you have to actually, like, shut down, go to the title screen, go back in, bring everyone else into the game. So yeah, it was like really frustrating, and I think it's a little better now. But oh my god, there was a point where you could lose like a half hour. In like 4 hours of gaming, you'd lose like a half hour, if not more.
Damn. Mr. Miller. Oh my god. I'm so ready for this answer, sir.
I don't know. I remember like around launch how frustrating it was when like, oh, you're like locked in a room, right? You're like going through like the Mega Hive or something, and then like, oh, an enemy spawned in the other room and you have to beat them to progress. And I think this was even like before, like I swear there was a point, this has been so long now, that like that just meant you were stuck. Like you were done. Like there was no fixing it unless you could manage to chip enough damage with like some like AoE effects, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like depending on where they were, there was nothing you could do.
Or even worse, if you played, I think it was a Mega Hive with other people, sometimes you would get stuck behind a door and that was it for you. Like you had to wait until everybody was done with the enemies to get, no.
Yeah.
It was like, what the hell? Yeah.
I
good
remember
times.
one time it was really funny though. Like we were doing the Mega Hive. It was like me and a group of randoms. And so we got there and it was a hive. All I remember is like the entrance area, right? And so we got there and like the objective wouldn't work for something, like we couldn't get the door open. So we reloaded checkpoint, right? And then we like basically started over. But when we got there, all of the geometry with the lab hadn't loaded. So like where the entrance was just an abyss.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun with that. Like some of the like the jank was kind of fun back in the day.
Yeah.
Bro. I'm gonna say my worst moment as far as Avengers was the reason actually I started doing Marvel's Avengers videos. So I used to watch, your Lejunes, your Super freaking Rebel. Shout out to Super Rebel for bringing us all together anyway, because the dude's crazy with the dude. I'm so sorry if you on this panel, if you've never watched a Super Rebel video, you probably ain't a real Avengers fan. But anyway, it was around that time where Super Rebel was super big, and I'm watching his videos, and for some reason, after his video went off, his 8-minute and 28-second video to the dot went off, it took me to a Kyle video. And now this video, it started off like it was cool. He was like, no hello beta testers or nothing. I had never heard of Kyle. And it was the day Kate launched, right? So I'm watching my Super Rebel video to get all my info. Then Kyle comes on and he's freaking T-pose flying and he's making fun of the game. And my feelings is getting hurt because I love me some Marvel's Avengers, right? I'm playing my Marvel's Avengers and I'm watching Kyle just shit on my game. I'm like, but he's right. But he's right. I don't like what he's saying. Fuck that. I'm about to make me a video about Kate Bishop. And that was my first Marvel's Avengers video. It was about Kate
Kyle is somewhere feeling himself right now.
This man literally spawned the whole career for me.
That is crazy.
I was hurt.
Don't beat up your girlfriend tonight, sir. Go to jail again.
Can I give my backup answer? Because I think this crowd will definitely appreciate it.
Please do.
Being 4 hours ahead of Lejeune in the race to get the first Spider-Man raid beat, taking a Spider-Man in 25 power levels short, getting to the boss fight, claw freaking season up. I'm having devs in my shit trying to help me because I'm going to do it. I got a legend threatening to quit, where I got to send him a DM saying I'm going to whoop his fat ass if he quits because we're going to get this done. And then missed it by 2 minutes. We spent 4 hours on Claw.
You know what that whole scene makes me think about is the shit talk that we was doing for the race, right? And Stardust gets on Twitter. He's talking so much shit to the Ultimates, which was like Mila June, Trix, and Sadat, right? And Sadat is like, you know what, bro? We not only are gonna whip your ass in this raid, we're gonna beat you in the raid. Then we're gonna take Spider-Man from level 0, level him up to 150, go into the raid and beat him before you finish the raid. Why did that shit fucking happen, bro?
So what went down? So what went down was that it was me, High Ruler, the Brown Bull, and Sonic Photo, and we didn't anticipate that PlayStation 4s were going to be a very big mishap in this raid. So we got to the end, and this was back when Claw was on his "I'm going to shoot you and not tell you where I'm going to shoot you" arc, right? So me and High Ruler were like, how do we like defend ourselves from this guy, right? Because we can't. So we just like tried to do heroics to like animate through it. So we were like, we had to like Giga Brain it, and then Sonic obviously dropped out right before we went to do it because of his PlayStation 4, and then we had one rage quit, so it was just me and High Ruler, and obviously that's not happening, right? Because one's got to go to the back, one's got to stay outside. We didn't have the builds ready for that just yet. And yeah, I rage quit, to be honest. I left High Ruler to go do it randoms.
Bro, that shit was so funny, dude. It was so funny. I kid you not. Because I had got done with the raid. I was fucking done. That raid drained the shit out of me. I was through. But I'm watching Lejeune, and I'm watching High Ruler at the same time. Like I got High Ruler on one and on YouTube, and I got Lejeune on Twitch. And Lejeune is like literally kicking ass. And I'm like, wait, his Spider-Man is like 140. What the hell is he doing in the raid? Oh my God, he's about to do it. And I'm watching High Ruler, and you guys just like 6 hours later, still like, I can't fuck it. Bro, I literally cried laughing when Lejeune finished that raid because Sadat was all over your ass, boy. Like you was asleep and Sadat was still tweeting you like, bro, Spider-Man
I was begging High Ruler to set me free so I can start playing as Spider-Man. Like I was begging it. And then like, because I see me and High Ruler had a bit of confidence, right? Because we did the Super Adaptoid OLT with 2 range caps only. And they were very glass cannon because we wanted to do the damage at the start, you know, see if we can get that clip. And by then it's too late. Once you're in there, you're in there. So we had to like matrix dodge every single fuck you attack that he has as cap while throwing the shield, which obviously leaves you vulnerable because you can't parry or anything while you're throwing it. You can't do anything. So when we finally did it, it was crazy, to be honest. Like I remember Andy messaged High Ruler and wanted to use it in one of their clips, but too much cussing, and Andy was like, I'll see what I can do about it. But literally, as soon as, and I remembered this, as soon as we got the kill, I just remember shouting, "Let's fucking go!" So I mean, they would have had to like see the shield hit, black screen end, like there would have been no reaction. They wouldn't have been able to do it. So
they just needed to mute everything and then put some fake audio in there or something.
Exactly, yeah. Like I go in to re-record it. Like, let's do this. Yes.
Cheerio. All right, guys. I'm tired. We almost literally 3 hours deep. I know Miller's probably ready to go and just relax for a minute. Same with Johnny Rocker's wife is probably throwing stuff at him that we can't even see right now. Fate Walker's Captain America is literally growing a beard as we speak right now. So
like, I can't grow hair at all.
He's gonna look like me by the time we're done.
Damn, Fate. You got alopecia, bro?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I have no eyebrows too.
Well, you wear glasses, so I can't tell. Holy shit!
Yeah,
it's a vibe.
That's a vibe, sir. My little, I have a little cousin that has alopecia. Like he has literally no hair at all. So that's
yeah, a little bit. It takes a little bit of adjustment to it, but you know, I don't have to wash. Shampoo's cheap.
Right. You're aerodynamic, sir.
Very much.
Adapt and overcome. No more shampoo.
Right.
I have no words for that right now. I keep saying shampoos, treatment, like fuck, bro.
I love it. I love it.
I also have amnesia. I have no sense of smell. I got diagnosed with that like 3 years before COVID hit. And
can you taste? So you can eat whatever you want then.
Pretty much. I mean.
Oh, that's actually. I wish I had no.
I ate really well and not care. I'm failing at it, but I mean,
my dad's got that. It was really weird because he had like a spine injury, and then he couldn't taste or smell anything, and that was so weird to me. And I think so I did like my own bit of research on that, and someone could tell me if I'm wrong. But like when those people that do like the whole pull your back and stuff, those like chiropractors that go kind of mental, and then they start crying and stuff. That's because like a lot of what's wrong with you is your back, like your spine. Right, your spine even slightly, yeah, exactly. Like if your spine is slightly out of alignment, you could have like serious issues. Pop it back in, you feel like a brand new human being. It's crazy. So like,
Cass, say you got 5 more interviews tonight, Miller.
I got a playlist of Judge Judy to watch.
Oh my god!
Oh man, I've got Midnight Suns to play.
Same.
I would love to really just dive deep into that, but I'm tired and I want to go hang with my family.
It's literally 4 a.m. for me, and I'm about to do like a 10-hour session on that game. Let me tell you.
Oh wow!
I can't.
Hey, bro, do me a favor. Put somebody on the map.
Now that we're talking about this whole Avengers thing, and if it were to come to a close, I really want to put Miller on the map. I feel like if it wasn't for him continuously giving us some sort of crumb, I think a lot of us would have
disappeared.
Yeah, because the way that we look at it now, it's like we're still here on a podcast talking about what maybe could transpire, and it's all based off of data mining and theories and him saying, maybe this or maybe that, and some people running with it correctly, some running off on a tangent, which I saw recently. He had to correct somebody that released some press on him, and he was just like, no, I didn't say that. So, it's, if you think about it, he really carried all of and I hate to love it. That's a fact. Like if it wasn't for him, which I want to put him on the map and say thanks for. They should be saying thanks, but thanks for keeping the game relevant, because everybody, with all due respect to the community, I love a lot of y'all. Thank you for even allowing me to even meet some of y'all. You have amazing personalities, but outside of this community, nobody cares about this game. Nobody truly even plays it. The ship has sailed. People, and now with news about EA getting new licenses, people are like, let's, and then it also puts us on a PTSD type of vibe too, because we're all like, do we support the next one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Miller.
Yes,
indeed.
Thank you. Oh,
Holder Gamer, put somebody on the map.
Oh, awesome YouTuber named I Am Life of Dreads. I Am Life of Dreads does a lot of videos based on Gotham Knights currently. Has done a number of, I believe, Marvel's Avengers. I actually got to talk to him about Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad before Gotham Knights even came out. But yeah, I Am Life of Dreads.
Johnny Rocker, put somebody on the map, sir.
I want to shout out my boy Twisted Heat Gaming. I'm rocking his merch right now. Man has been there from the very beginning, quietly doing his thing. He gets criminally underrated in this community. That when you go and watch his streams, they are entertaining. He's interacting with the chat. He's having a good time. He's got good vibes. And I just think he needs more eyeballs. So check out Twisted Heat Gaming.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Fate Walker, put somebody on a map, good sir.
I'm gonna put someone new. I was gonna go with I'm gonna put someone new that I found just the other day, and I'm putting them on this map because I admire their perseverance. They are someone with a disability. They can only play Avengers with one hand, and no matter how frustrating I would have been the 20th time trying to do some of the combos, Phantom Pair 332 is someone that I enjoy watching him try to go beyond what I would have thrown the controller at the wall at that point. I really admire the fact that they keep pushing and he's enjoying the game. So
Miller, put somebody on the map, bro.
Well, all this talk about the old days reminded me of like launch and what I was doing. And I watched a lot of Antonio Redgrave, who was streaming. He comes back for like content updates and stuff, you know what I mean? But he mostly does like Bayonetta and like Devil May Cry, like action games and stuff. And he's a really cool guy, great streamer, great YouTuber, Antonio Redgrave. Shout out to him.
Okay. Alien Fire. Put somebody on the map, mama.
This is gonna be a weird one. It's not just one person. It's like 540 people. My Twitter followers. Like I don't know how I got there. It seems like they like my rantings and my girly squeals and whatever. But yeah, like thank you guys. Thank you so much, all of you. I love you all.
Yes,
so, yeah.
indeed. Again, I'm gonna put the panel on the map. Everybody from actually, you know who I want to put on the map? The members of the first roundtable, which was High Ruler, Lejeune, Tricks Ridiculous, and Sadat the Gamer. Those dudes right there has set it up to where people from all walks of life are now literally hanging out on podcasts, talking to each other, people who would never have even met before just come on the podcast and just hang out. So big shout out for them dudes for taking that step, for saying, yeah, you know what, I'll come on your podcast, bro, and I'll put my ego to the side so we can actually talk about some things as a group. And I mean, it spawned the weekly wrap up, it spawned Avengers summits, it spawned Avengers initiatives, it spawned Excelsior Now podcast and everything else. So big dub to the members of the very first roundtable, because without them saying, you know what, let's do this, let's talk about these consumables as a community, this game, this community that we have, with as much as work as Miller has done, probably would have crumbled a long time ago. So big shout out to Miller, big shout out to the first roundtable members, and then everybody else who's come through, everybody on the panel right now, from Alien to Johnny to Fate to the man himself, Matrix Miller, Babe Bro, Hoarder, Gamer, Slight, Stardust. Who else was here? Lejeune, Tricks Ridiculous. Been in the chat all night. Casual Avenger, Sadat the Gamer. Man, look, for real. Much love to all of y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Y'all could have been anywhere on the planet, anywhere in the world, but y'all were here rocking with the best. So greatly appreciate.
And remember, chat, this was first.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm about to do it, Johnny. Happy Christmas to you, sir, Mr. Flavius King, dog. Dude, stay grinding, bros. Keep doing your thing, bro. I know that we give you a lot of shit because you did a lot of shit. But you know what? That's over a year old for me, bro. I'm good on that live stream, man. You do your thing, bro. I don't got no hate towards you. I'm not fucking with you. No, we can't be friends, but I ain't got no hate. I ain't got no hate towards you, dog. I really don't. I really don't.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room real quick?
Please do.
For everybody in chat, just to let you guys know, not the last podcast. I know what is things, not the last podcast. For the year.
It was for the year. It was y'all was assholes, bro.
Next year it's Suicide Squad. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God. Midnight Suns. Who's playing Midnight Suns? Let's just run that real quick before we get out of here. Alien, you playing Midnight Suns?
No.
No. Johnny Rock, you playing Midnight Suns?
I'm living Midnight Suns, bro. living it.
Fate Walker, is that your style of game? You playing Midnight Suns?
I'm dreaming it. He's living it. I'm dreaming it.
God damn.
Go.
Miller, I know that you were talking about it in the group. So you getting to play it yet?
Not yet.
Oh, waiting on that
I'm in the
code
middle
still?
of a move. I don't have a lot of cash to spare, and I didn't get a code, so I'm waiting. But I'm enjoying watching everybody.
Okay, babe, bro. I know that is definitely not your type of game, but you say you were going to go ahead and get the platinum version. Did you get it, and are you enjoying yourself?
The legendary version actually
Legendary.
arrived. Yeah, FedEx will be dropping it off tomorrow.
Oh, look at you. It's your legendary ass.
A super quick shout out to my mom. She actually got me a copy for my birthday, so that was awesome of her. And then I supplemented the cost a little bit so I could do the legendary. So I had the season pass. Plus, it came with a really cool Funko Pop of Iron Man. So I'm about 5 hours in. I love it. I loved everything about it. I love the relationships that you build. I love the combat. It is really well done so far.
Wow. Spider Boy, as Spring would call you.
Okay, so I'm not ashamed to admit that I started playing at midnight on the second. I have over 24 hours in the game now already.
Did you end up getting the code, or did you just buy it?
I bought the legendary edition. I went all out. The code. I mean, you know what? People don't care about that. Code thing was really difficult anyway. But no, I was more than happy to support it. To be honest, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Like it is everything that I wanted in this game and more. I'm on cloud 9 at the minute with it, to be honest. But because I'm really bad at it, I'm terrible at it. I'll admit that. But I'm learning because the first time. That's why I haven't done videos on it, right? Because I've got nothing to like. Here's how to do this. Oh wait, I'm watching all of you lot tell me how to do it. Like, but I'm learning first, right? The only stuff that I've had trouble with is the Abby stuff. But if you know, you know. If you don't, then you'll find out when you play it. Doom, I didn't put anyone on the map. You skipped me.
I did. Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I promise.
You know,
No, I know it wasn't on purpose, but I thought you were going to do a thing, so I didn't want to correct. Like, I didn't want to say anything. Deeper Depths. He's got a podcast with Tony Todd that's sick. Everyone was talking about it, but I feel like too many people were looking at the articles rather than the podcast. So everyone who's read that article, go to the podcast because it isn't just.
I watched that podcast today, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. It isn't just that represents the entire thing. He goes all in. So if you like Tony Todd besides just Venom, it's fantastic, to be honest.
For me, that's Candyman. That's the Candyman I grew up.
That is Candyman, yeah.
Like, I was definitely, I was upset that I missed it live. You know what I mean? Like, I was working when it happened. I knew what was going on. I was working when it happened. So that's a good shout out, Stardust. And I'm glad that you caught me on that, bro.
He's very positive. Shout out to him.
I was trying to get him on here. He said he was laying in the bed watching y'all, dude. So he actually sent me a DM. But again, thanks. I mean, seriously, those original members of that podcast, of the original roundtable, definitely High Ruler for allowing me to come on his a simple. No, it wasn't even a simple podcast that night. It was just a random podcast he did specifically to help the community get to know me. So big shout outs to High Ruler and Stardust, because Stardust came through anyway. And it was kind of funny because the next podcast that they did was like the next night, and it was the weekly recap. But High Ruler still had all of the Doom.
Yeah, and he was like, "Do you want to be Doom?" And I was like, "No, I want to be me."
So
I was acting all jealous. I was like, I can't believe you've replaced me with this new hoe. Sweet.
And now you literally pretty much co-host the damn weekly wrap up every week. So how funny is that, bro? That's hilarious.
Revenge. That's what he gets for being. That's what he gets for having a life. Fuck you.
But again, thank everybody for coming through. Miller, you were the man of the hour with the info. I was not expecting you to drop any gems. I know you just literally came off the after show with Kaz, Jay Shockblast, and Sadat, and you dropped a lot of nice gems over there. You have your article. Plug your article real quick if you don't
It's
mind.
not out yet, but my goal is to have my draft done today and sent off to my editor. But I mean, like today in a different time zone.
Yeah,
Before I go to bed, I want this draft done, and hopefully within the next 48 hours, it's out.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, check my Twitter for that.
definitely be looking out for. Y'all know I'm retweeting as soon as it goes live. Put it in the shoot that to the roundtable chat, bro, so we can bump that for you. You know what I mean? So, but again, thank everybody on the panel for coming through. I know I'm holding y'all up. Alien, would you mind taking us out of here?
No, you're supposed to say it before I do. Okay, fine. Come on, do it.
Say it.
Y'all already know. Thank y'all for tuning in. And with all that said,
laissez les bons temps rouler.
Which means let the good times let the good times roll. Peace out, people.
Excelsior Now podcast.
Excelsior! Oh.